Mighty Father, we worship your glory. We worship your glory. We worship your glory. That's what we shout. Mighty Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you. Thank you, Lord, for another opportunity in your presence. Father, we give you praise. Father, we give you honor. Father, we give you adoration. We thank you, Father, for all the things you've done, for all the things you're doing, for all the things that you're going to do for us. Thank you, Father, for this opportunity to make your will known to us. Father, we commit the ministry of the word into your hands today. Thank you, Father, because it's going to be holy men speaking as they were moved by the Holy Spirit. Amen. And thank you, Father, because as your truth is going forth, mega dunamis, mega signs and wonders, mega result is going to follow suit in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, mighty Father. Thank you, Lord. To you be all the glory, Lord, all the honor, and all the majesty. Amen. In Christ's mighty name we worship. Amen. Let all of God's people declare loud, amen. Amen. As if you can hear my voice wherever medium, please appreciate the presence of the Holy Spirit. Hallelujah. Amen. You're almost welcome in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Now I want to assure you that the presence of God is where you are. What that just is, people. What makes me to be so sure is because God says that where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, and he also said he has exalted his truth above his name. So that means that once the truth of God is being heralded where you are, then you can be sure that the presence of God is there. Amen. Hope we got that, please. Yes, sir. We're trying to get the audio device here because I can't access the sounds. It's not a factor. But that's because we can't do it. Why? It's not too far. Hallelujah. Amen. Can the brethren on Skype hear me? Yes, sir. This is not it's not still just hallelujah.
Amen.
So you're all most welcome in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
So I was saying that you can be sure that the presence of God is where you are because you are hearing the truth. And to emphasize that, hallelujah.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
So once again, once come to his presence, so I was saying that when I say welcome to his presence, I meant every word of what I said. Which means that the presence of God is where you are. Where is God's presence?
Where?
Now, a lot of people have this misconception about the presence of God. And to prove that the presence of God is where you are, I first of all said the presence of God is where you are because the truth is being heard where you are. I'll go over that again. The presence of God is where you are because where you are, the hearing of the truth is going on. So how or what now gives us the assurance? What gives me the assurance that the presence of God is where you are hearing the truth? Let's see if you can see what I'm sharing. Let me know.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So let's see 1 John chapter 5 verse 8, please. First epistle of John chapter 5 verse 8. But the presence of God is still something that a lot of people don't understand. And because of this lack of understanding of the presence of God, a lot of people, they are still not tapping into the presence of God that is there with them. Are you with me, people of God? Now, what does the presence of God mean? The presence of God means in that situation, in that person, in that event that you have the presence of God, it will be as if the Godhead, the person of our Heavenly Father, the person of Christ is right there and then. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So, and you still see, despite what God has said way back in the Old Testament, right from Isaiah chapter 66, that God says he doesn't dwell in man-made structure. Yet human beings still believe God resides in man-made structure. You see the reason why the Babalawos, the Abalis, they cannot cease to exist yet. You know why? Because people of God still believe you must go to a building called church to discover God. So what makes that different from that Abali, from that traditional priest that carve out a statue from a tree and says, this is the presence of his own God, put it under your pillow, put it in your shop, put it under the driving seat in your car, and it will ensure. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. First of all, how does that make sense? God created us, yet his presence will be in what we created. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Somebody say, oh, there was a tree in my village that anybody that cut the tree dies. When they cut the tree, it will grow back up overnight. That is a tree. That is not a plank. That's not a statue. The reason why demons can invest or invade or possess a tree is a living organism. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Man can plant tree. Man did not create tree. That's why to get tree, you have to take seed, life, from a former seed to create another seed. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And let me tell you this, demons can move objects, but they cannot inhabit objects. Because objects are not living. You see the stupidity of how religion insults God. That's why God is not behind any religion. I've told you people of God, listen to this. Any religion, any lifestyle, any system of belief that does not make sense, God is not there. I'm not sure if I'm making some sense. Okay, now, let's use ourselves as humans. Thank God many of us listening to me, your parents. Imagine you bought something for your child. Okay? And your child now bought something for himself. What can you guarantee between what you bought for your child? Please, keep some going. What you bought for your child, please listen, people of God, and what your child bought for himself or herself. Which one can you guarantee? The one you bought. You say how you will now insult God when you say you are serving God, you are religious. The scripture says the earth is the Lord's. Yet Christian religion or Jewish religion says Jerusalem is the Lord's. Islamic religion says Saudi Arabia, Mecca, and Medina is the Lord's. Now we are seeing how they have used your head. Catholic religion says Rome or Vatican is the Lord's. Meanwhile, a country, a city, in that same Middle East, where you have Israel and Saudi Arabia, the city is called Dubai. Do you know when Dubai was founded? Nigeria was far more developed than Dubai. But just a desert. Do you know as I'm talking now, Dubai makes more money than Saudi Arabia and Israel on tourism. More than the two of them combined together. Yet, they did not tell you that Dubai is where God's presence is. That's to tell you, they only told you that God's presence is in all those cities, so you come and invest your money there. That is what is taking place every Sunday in churches, every Friday in mosque. And even if your religion is the shrine, the day you go to the shrine, that is what is happening. All these things are product of your. What we normally feel is right because we feel good. Hello, people of God. Should I tell you something that will shock you? If you don't feel good about the truth I'm saying, it's because your faith is in here. Like to give you something that might shock you.
Yes, sir.
After we are done today in God's presence, if you are not into this truth I'm sharing, should I tell you what's going to happen to you?
Yes, sir.
It's not a prophecy. So some people want to chop money out of here by saying this is a prophet, but it's not a prophecy. Should I tell you what can happen to you?
Yes, sir.
You can leave this service sadder than you started. See, all those things are the things we call the presence of God. They don't mean the presence of God. See what makes the presence of God here. 1 John chapter 5 verse 8 says, there are three that bears witnesses on earth. Are we on heaven or in hell or on earth?
On earth.
On earth. I said, what are these three? The spirit, the water, and the blood. And if you understand what this means, the spirit here, of course, refers to the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit. The water here refers to this truth I'm preaching. The spoken word of God, the word of truth. And blood here. Hello? Another way. Many of us have lost our brain. Christ that holds blood never said, plead my blood. Hello? Listen to me. Many of you, you think you might be saved, but let me tell you, there's a difference between sonship and childhood. You might be a child of God, but you're a son and daughter of Satan. You are saved, but you are working for Satan. I will show you today with the help of the Spirit of God. One of those ways is all this your prayer. I plead the blood. You too will not shout the blood. Did Christ say that? The Christ who owns the blood, is in your blood you are preaching. Let me tell you, hello. Hello. If you ever have prayed before, are you with me? And you plead the blood, and that answer came to your prayer. Should I tell you two things that happen? There's no third thing that happen. It's either Satan is the one that answered that prayer. Are you with me? Or because of your level of ignorance, you're a beneficiary of somebody who understands this principle, who prayed for that situation for you the right way. Should I repeat that? And don't forget, especially people on social media, the scripture says, ask and you shall receive. It's our brain that added the prayer. Christ didn't say prayer. In fact, how did anybody ask Christ anything in prayer? It was one-on-one. In fact, most of the powerful revelations Christ downloaded, it was not in any service. It was not when he was preaching the word. It was one-on-one. And like I keep on telling you, if you don't ask questions about life, life will question you. It's answers you are supposed to give to life. But can you have an answer you refuse to ask? If you have ever in your life, okay, ever prayed over the matter, and the way you pray, I plead the blood, and the other people who brain are like yours, panabited. They say the blood. Say, Pastor, why are you talking about? He's a Jew, Is Christ the Jew? Is Christ the bishop? That's why you're supposed to be a disciple of Christ, not a disciple of any pastor. Starting from me. Why I'm fulfilling my purpose is when each and every one of you become a disciple of Christ. And I've told you who Christ is. You are a disciple of Christ when you discover your purpose. Your purpose is your Christ. What did I just say, people of God?
My purpose is my Christ. Disciples of Christ when I discover my purpose.
So, whenever or if ever you have ever prayed and said, please, your answer came, is one of these two. Either is Satan that answered you. Because what the scripture says, based on these same witnesses that prove the presence of God, he said it's only when you act based on his will. See, even if you didn't say plead the blood, even if you have used the name of Jesus, if what you are asking for, please everybody listen to this, is not scriptural. Sisters, I hope you are listening.
Yes, sir.
Should I tell you sisters?
Yes, sir.
Should I tell you sisters?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If now you are married and you are enjoying your marriage, and you are the one that prayed for husband, it's the same two things that happen. It's either it's Satan that brought your husband, even if I'm the husband, yes, or somebody that you beneficial, and most likely your mama, who is God fearing. Are you with me? Yes, that God answered that prayer, but that God will answer a prayer that is not scriptural. Nay, nay, nay. James chapter 1 verse 7, he said God does not tempt to anybody with evil, and he himself cannot be tempted. The word translated evil there is wrong. Once something is wrong, even if it's a good thing, once it's wrong, God is not in it. Why? Because he said these three things bears witness on earth: Holy Spirit, the truth, and eternal life. But which one is in the middle? Between the spirit, the water, which is the truth, and the blood, which is eternal life. Which one is in the middle?
The truth.
The water, which is the truth. And what have I told you? When you have something big to carry, where is the best place to carry it?
In the middle.
In the middle. That is why, let me tell you, even though the Holy Spirit is the highest of these three, as a faithful minister, I'm not supposed to be preaching the Holy Ghost. I'm supposed to preach the truth. That's why Apostle Paul never said, woe to me if I don't preach eternal life. Woe to me if I don't preach. He said, woe to me if I don't preach the truth. You know, that's why I said the presence of God is where you are hearing this truth. Once is the truth you are hearing, it doesn't have to be from a mouth. Let me tell you, Holy Spirit is strong where you are. Maybe let me tell you how serious it is. If today, I hope you are hearing, people of God.
Yes, sir.
If today, as of today, you still believe that until you go to a building, at a particular day, at a particular time, you have not found the presence of God, congratulations, you are a Satanist. A son and daughter of Satan. Even though you are a child of God, if you are saved, but you are working for Satan, you are fellowshipping with Satan, you are eating of Satan. God has no communication with you. Because the scripture says, in God is what? Light, 100%. And in him there is no darkness. So once something is wrong, and remember I've shared with you, there are how many forms of darkness? Hello? What did happen now? Make we stop the sound when you go.
No, sir.
No, sir.
How many forms of darkness do we have? If you don't answer this one, we'll close the service. Serious. I cannot be going through sleepless nights, and the people I'm preaching to will not even remember an important revelation that will change their life. Because it's in this same forum, I told us how many forms of darkness that is in existence. And it's all of us. There are gossip we will never forget. What doesn't concern us? And let me tell you, if you can remember something, just one thing that doesn't concern you about another adult, no matter the relation with that other adult, you don't have an excuse not to remember the truth that's been preached to you more than 2 or 3 times. I'm waiting on. Or is the English that is not clear?
It's very clear.
I asked, I hope you are checking social media.
Yes, sir.
Please, my people there will just tell me the answer. So I will just become social media pastor once and for all. Since God is cooking in spirit, and true worshippers worshiping in spirit and in truth. Did he say the true worshiper worshiping on Sunday? Does it say the true worshiper worships him in a building?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
That is preceded by praise worship?
No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah, so let's answer the question, please. How many forms of
Fine.
Say so, not me and you. You had that from what is the 5 said? Oh yeah. They are saying 5.
Dogs.
I think you are now. I think I know where you got it from. I didn't ask. I didn't say that as children of God, okay, who know what we are doing, since we are supposed to be light or darkness of this world, I didn't say how many forms of children of God. I started by saying in 1 John chapter 1 verse 5, God is light and in him there is no darkness. And God's light stands for truth, stands for righteousness, stands for perfection, stands for the way everything is supposed to be. And right in this facility, I told us that God is 100% light, 100% truth, 100% love, 100%. Oh yeah, probably you can suggest what is light. A good thing that is, oh yeah. You can't answer my question. You can't suggest light again. Prosperity, 100% prosperity. Oh yeah.
Wisdom.
100% wisdom, 0% foolishness.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah.
100% health, 0% sickness. 100% success, 0% defeat. Yes. 100% blessings, 0% calamity. 100% goodness, 0% evil. Oh yeah, now. 100. We've already said that now. Victory and success are actually the same thing. Okay, but for tautology, 100% victory, 0% defeat. 100% niceness, 0% wickedness. So do you understand what the question is now?
Yes, sir.
And that day in a Sunday service, I said there are 100 times or kinds of wickedness. From 0% light to 99%. Is that not 100? You didn't remember I ever told you? Which is why a lot of people are serving the devil, following Satan. They thought it's God. Because you have 100 kinds of error out there. There's only one truth. There are 100 forms of lie, from 0% truth to 99% truth. But there's only one truth, 100% truth. They're still not getting the people of God. Please ask your question if you're not getting it.
But you said the source. You said the source. That's
Source of what?
You said the source of darkness. That's what you had.
I said, how many types of darkness do we have? And I quoted 1 John chapter 1 verse 5, which says, God is light, and in him there is no darkness. Our Heavenly Father, like the scripture says, there are so many gods out there. Even some people who have made God of other people. There are people who believe they are God of another human being. Yes or no?
Yes.
But all these other gods, they fall into 100 categories. From the one that doesn't have any connection with God, 0% connection with God, to the one that have 99% connection with God, but one error. I shared with you, once is not 100% truth, 100% life, 100% victory, 100% righteousness is not God. But that's what that scripture means. Say, God is light, and in him there is no darkness. Because you're a child of God does not mean everything that is happening to you is coming from God. That's what we are allowing to confuse us. And form of pride. When Christ was going, in John chapter 16 verse 33, Christ said, in this world you are going to face challenge. Hello, people of God. I want to tell you your real enemies are today. So you leave your innocent mama alone. Innocent woman is not your problem. Should I tell you your real enemies are in this life?
Yes, sir.
Any supposed pastor who has ever told you a lie, they are your real enemies. Anybody that tells you that God is partially true, they are your enemy. God is not partially true. God is 100% true. Once, even if you are facing a situation that has 99% truth, but one error, God is not there. Which is why I give an example. When Christ was going, he said, in my name, whatever you demand in my name, if heaven doesn't make it, he will make it for you. What do we hear all over the place? Holy Ghost fire. Should I tell you the truth?
Yes.
If you have ever prayed with Holy Ghost fire and you get answer, two things happen. It's either Satan answered that prayer, or somebody that you are a beneficiary of, somebody you are related to, who is serving God faithfully, who prayed over that same situation for you that you didn't know. Is that person God answered that you thought is your Holy Ghost fire? Because when Christ was going, when he talks about the coming of, when he talks about the day of Pentecost, he said there is a comforter that God the Father is going to send in my name. And when the Holy Spirit comes, Christ never said you shall call him in prayer. He said the Holy Spirit will teach you all things. Even though you use the name Holy Ghost, it's not Holy Spirit that answered you, it's an holy demon that answered you. Because the work of the Holy Spirit is to glorify the truth. Christ called Holy Spirit Spirit of Truth. Spirit of what, people of God?
Spirit of truth.
So do you know what that means, people of God? That means even if a minister, a pastor, an herbalist, an imam, even an atheist, they are rotting miracles. But it's not based on preaching of the truth. God is not in it. What did I just say, people of God? You are looking scared. You are not asking questions. I'm saying the truth. You are looking at me. It's either you are receiving or not. And if you are not receiving, ask. In His presence, there is liberty. Ask.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Sir, please, have you now answered the question of how many forms of darkness are in existence?
Yes, I did, ma. I did, ma.
How many, sir?
100.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
100. From 0 light to 99% light. In actual fact, there's 101 forces in life. And it's only one out of that force belongs to our Almighty God. How many forces do I say is in existence?
101.
And how many belongs to God Almighty?
Only one.
Only just one. And the one that belongs to our Heavenly Father is the one that is 100% truth, 100% love, 100% righteousness. You are still finding that straight. Okay, I will give you an example. I'm not sure whether some of us get this thing. How many of us, okay, I'm not sure whether the younger generation, do they know about Robin Hood? Did you meet Robin Hood?
I read it.
Read it. This is why I prefer people my generation, because, okay, which one do they know? Anyway, let me tell you about Robin Hood. Okay. We grew up with the story of Robin Hood. In fact, by the time you are in primary 3, you know about Robin Hood. You know, this guy is supposed to be a villain, an outcast in the whole Great Britain. Okay? But he was a nice villain. What he used to do, he will rob the rich people to take care of the poor. Am I making some sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, are you sure I'm making some sense?
Yes, sir.
Very sure.
Yes, sir.
Because Robin Hood steals from the rich to pay the poor, does that mean he's not a thief? Answer me now.
He's a thief.
He's still a thief.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
So how come you are saying the devil is not a thief, that is God you are serving? Because you prayed and your prayer was answered. Is that right? Is God the answer or is not God? Because that your prayer is not based on the truth. Because that your prayer is, when you are praying, you say your enemy must die by fire. See, if you have ever prayed that your enemy should die and that enemy died, guess who you are? If you are a man, you are Satan's firstborn. If you are a woman, you are first daughter of Satan. Because real children of God don't pray for the death of their enemy. If you are truly saved and you are living the life of God, God says, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you. And what some of you are thinking? Christ never said fellowship with your enemy. Christ never said let your enemy use your head. Because you love somebody doesn't mean you should serve them. Because you love somebody doesn't mean you should be stupid. Because you are forgiving somebody doesn't mean you will trust them again. What did I just say? See, let me tell you, if God delivered you from somebody that wants to kill you, and God revealed to you, this is the person that wants to kill you, and God delivered you from that person, If you trust that person, God will not deliver you. You committed suicide. And heaven will receive you with arms wide open. Since you are done with life. I'm not sure if I'm making some sense. Why I have to be saying this is that our conception of God is totally wrong. And once we don't understand God, we can't understand ourselves. Because we are made in God's image. The way many of us think, we are thinking backwards. You know how we try to understand ourselves? By trying to understand how people are treating you. Many of us, because somebody, let me tell you, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to use a strong word. But if this word applies to you, better accept it so you can be free. Remember, I always say, if you are traveling on the road and you miss your road, the first place you look for in the map, where am I? If you can't locate where you are, you can't get out of that mistake. I'm going to use a strong word. I don't normally use that word because I don't believe any man is an idiot. But guess what? We all make idiots of ourselves from time to time. But nobody is born an idiot. Nobody has an idiot gene. There's nothing like somebody is born not to be smart. Every human being has potential to be smart. You know why we end up not being smart? We end up being stupid. We end up being idiots. We refuse to use our brain. We carry our brain sometimes and give to another person. Many times we give it to pastors in the name of prayer. Many a times, sister, sorry, I respect you a lot. Many of us women will carry that brain and give to our husband in the name of marriage. But it will be better you give it to your father. Not your papa born you. I'm here to see a woman say, my papa is my husband. He said, pay your school fees. It's your parents that should thank him, not you. Since I did hear what I said. So, my husband paid my school fees. It's your parents' responsibility to send you to school. So he helped them, not you. It's your parents that should go and say thank you, not you. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
There is no in the scripture that says wife should say thank you to the husband. Feel free, sir, to ask questions. Thank God you're a man of the scripture. What happened? Okay, some people are protesting. People protested when Christ was preaching.
Exactly.
It's normal. It shows that I'm talking to human beings.
Yes,
it's human beings that protest. In fact, let me tell you this: any church service you go to, and no, there's no protest in the service. Two things happen. Okay? Either the pastor is 419 fake, or the congregation, they are all zombie, they are not human beings. Human beings, we are created to react. If somebody slaps you, you won't react.
Yes.
Even out of respect, you don't want to slap your own back. You say, why now? Then if the person is so respectful, you can't say why. You say, yeah. So if I'm slapping you with this truth, it's a good reaction when you. So please, when people react like that, I say, don't stop them.
Yes, sir.
It shows that they are human beings, created in the image. Doesn't God react?
Yes.
When man was building Tower of Babel, didn't God react? Hello? Didn't God react?
Yes.
Let me tell you, any situation you are in, you are not allowed to react. Get out of that situation. You hear me?
Yes,
if you are working for somebody, you cannot react to your office. You are married, you cannot react to your wife or to your husband. Get out. You are in a church, you cannot react. Get out. In fact, I've told you, the number one prison in life is church. Did you see people keep quiet in church? Especially children. Sunday school is of the devil. Did Christ go to any Sunday school? He was right in the main church. He didn't even want to go. God bless mothers. See, let me tell you, sisters, if it's you that God has planned to have Jesus Christ, because of how religious you are, you won't be able to give birth to Jesus Christ. You know why?
Why?
You won't match him with your eyes out of the temple at age 12. Many of us spend in the name of Bible. That age 12, your child knows how to read Bible. Ask to you what makes a good mother. Let me tell you, if your your child at age 12, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Can read the Bible but cannot speak correct language, whether English or your other language, you are failed as a parent. It was only I that made it look like Jesus. I know those eyes that your mothers will look at you. That you will start reading Psalm 23 inside as a song. Because after that high is a baka. I didn't say father. I say who? Most of the time, when fathers look at children like that, they are angry with their wife, but they can't take it out on the wife because they say that they know the wife is no nonsense. Will not be. No, it's true now. Am I lying? You are looking at me.
No, sir.
No, it's true. Yes, I ask, sir. Please. I like this attire, sir. It's very fine.
Sisters, if I don't return it,
I said I like attire. And this, if anybody is coming now, they say they want to see the Geo. This is the Geo.
Gio, nothing.
So it's money that makes Geo.
Not different from the
Thank God I'm not Geo.
No, sir, it's not
My
different
own
from
pocket is there.
So, one of the things you said,
Yes, sir.
Jesus Christ said, anything you ask on earth will be. So, in Matthew chapter 7, he said, anything you ask, God will answer us. Now, concerning issue of praying for our enemies, why is it wrong to pray for our enemies if God has given us the command to? And number two,
Oh, yeah, continue.
the issue of marriage and appreciation. If a husband do something nice for the wife must show appreciation. Say, "Thank you, darling," or "Thank you, my good husband." Why must you say thank you to the father?
At the last camp, we don't have men's fellowship. This one that you are an advocate for man all of a sudden. First of all, when it comes to prayer, in fact, prayer is something. I don't know why prayer has been bastardized, because prayer is something that Christ did not spare anybody. Anytime Christ is talking about prayer, he talks about what you should pray for, why you should pray, when you should pray. And when it comes to prayer and enemies, God, through Christ, never said we should pray against our enemy. Matthew chapter 5 verse 44 is crystal clear. It says, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you. Somebody will say about Christ, he said, well, you should pray relative to them. For him to have said, love your enemy and bless them that curse you, it cannot be that my enemy died by fire. Should I tell you what is really happening? Especially in Nigeria, we are all idol worshippers.
Okay.
I know the idol we are worshiping, pastors, the Geo. Whatever the Geo, whatever the pastor says is the truth. And you know why? Because we are looking at the large followership. We have forgotten that the devil has large followership. In fact, if you are talking about followership, let me tell you, Christendom is not the one that has largest followership. A proof, Catholicism, the Pope did mass. Did mass or wait?
Mass.
No, so at least I still remember basic mathematics. You have mass, you have weight. And one is you multiply one with the fake gravity, you know, to give you the other one. If somebody says celebrating mass, that means celebrating weight now. Over gravity. I think you saw the crowd. The crowd is not as much as people that go for annual pilgrimage in Mecca. That still remains the largest assembly of people annually. The only one that beats pilgrimage to Mecca is the annual, I don't know whether it's annual, whenever the Indians gather at the Ganges River for their annual dipping themselves inside the water. Those two has nothing to do. So, what are we talking about? So, if it's crowd, those are the first people that will go to heaven. The crowd is not as much as that. Recently, the great man of God, Dr. Lebonke, went to be with the Lord. This is a man that recorded 79 million people he brought to the Lord. All are GOs, bishops, and all that, with their big buildings, 100,000 seats, and the one they want to build. How can somebody, if not that you are suffering from dementia, say you want to build a church building that is as big as a city that is recorded as the largest city in West Africa and the second largest city in Africa before you die? Is that not dementia? Where would the architect to design this? And you will see some people, they will say amen to such a person's prayer. Let me tell you, people, look, I've said it before. Sister, sorry, I'm on your case again. I told you that when God, and I believe Christ joined him, when they looked down and they felt bad, hating people, I told you who God saw. He saw Christians. I've told you God is not behind them. And do you know the proof why God is not behind them? Who is the giver of life? God or man?
God.
And how do people come to this life? It's not by reproduction.
Yes, sir.
Okay? When the seed from a man fertilizes the egg from a woman, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Elementary biology. I hope our future professor, I hope I pass biology with that statement. So that people will not come and think he's shining like we are stupid, we are sensible.
Yes, sir.
Now, if we all know that if the man has fertile healthy seed and the woman too is under fertile period, whether the man is a rapist, whether the woman is innocent, won't a child be born? Won't God release a child? That's the proof that God is not religious. That's why there's no church in Garden of Eden, there's no mosque, there's no shrine. So where am I going? The first set of people that God looked down and said, I fell back, were Christians. You know why? No religion is as stupid as Christians. And I'll tell you why. Other religions, they bow down to mystical deity. You understand? Do they see Muhammad? Do they see Ahmadua? Do they see Shango? No. But Christians, they will claim it's Christ that they don't see. They are worshiping. He's the pastor. That's why now you don't hear, are you a Christian? What you have, you go to Shining Light. And I've told you, when we get to you won't see Shining Light. You won't see Redeem. You won't see popular churches. Winners and quitters. You won't see the one on the mountain, the one in the valley. The one that has fire, the one that has water. Not true. Is that not what Christianity has become?
Yes, sir.
Is there denominationalism? It's high level of stupidity. Why should you? I know that's what has destroyed marriage. And that leads me to the second group of people. Sorry, sisters. I must tell you the truth. You are the second group of people, apart from Christians, that when God looked down, God felt bad for creating people. Because your parents gave birth to you, invested in you. By age 6, you are already joining your mama to cook. Your big brother, up to age 15, irresponsible. 9 years gap. You now grow up to be a woman and you now feel you are not complete without Abba. Why won't God feel bad for creating you? And it is you. All this tradition and belief about marriage is all made up by men. You will never see a woman in the council of marriage. Even go to Nigerian villages. It's only a woman, they will call woman leader, that will be in the council. One woman, minimum 10 men. Right hand or two, left hand OC. The one that open calabash, Ashipa. The one in charge, the chief warrior, Pablo. The one that is the priest, They now put one woman that cannot talk. Imagine. And meanwhile, all these men put together, they can't do. Show me a man. All those ones that say they are monks. Did you hear every day their scandal? If they are not raping, they are raping the altar boys. If they are abusing one nun, grab another nun or grab a priest. And you still say, how can a victim be saying they need a criminal in their life? Right from when man fell in the garden of Eden, who started lying?
Adam.
Who was the first rebel that looked at God in the eye? You will not tell me religion is of God. Which religious leader? Which deity? So that's the second. Sorry. The third group of people that God looked down and felt bad for creating people. I've told you that it's Africans, black skin. That's why you see, before I used to think it's men, women. Do you know men have carried their brain and throw away? When you see a man bleaching. I saw one some days ago and I started weeping. I thought I passed weeping in my life. It's true. Who told you that the brain inside an Oyibo man? In fact, let me tell you proof. Go and ask people, do you know what gave birth to racism? Because they did a research and discovered that the oldest fossils, human fossils that was seen were black people. Were black people. In fact, let me tell you the truth. Go and do your Bible research. Hello? Some books were removed from this present Bible. You know why they were removed? Because it proved that the first white person was Noah. They removed it. So that you will not have your sense of what as a black person. Want to marry Oyibo? You want to be like Oyibo? That's why we throw away our primary language. I've told you before. Some of you have told me and said, I'm saying the truth. In fact, Nigeria is the only country on earth that you have two people who speak original language from the Tower of Babel. Igbo and Yoruba. And in the whole of Africa, we only have 4. 2 alone in Nigeria. The other is Swahili and Zulu. All the others, African languages, including Hausa, Fulani, they are all tertiary language. They are not primary language. That's why we can't enjoy the Bible. You know why? Because the English Bible is where the Yoruba Bible came from. And the Igbo Bible came from Yoruba Bible. So now see why a lot of this was lost. If the Yoruba Bible and the Igbo Bible have been translated directly from Hebrew and Greek, in fact, hardly will you find any Igbo man or Yoruba one that will not be saved. Because the language that they translated it from was already corrupted. But what happened with this modern language? There are some words that cannot be translated. So the meaning is lost. Look at what is translated W-O-R-D in English word. Meanwhile, in the original Greek and Hebrew, there are 3 different words that if the right word are being used, people will understand that I cannot just cook up something and say in Jesus' name and expect it to work. Because you would have seen that scriptures like Psalm 138 verse 2, instead of saying God has exalted his word above his name. Do you understand? The right word would have been put there, that God has exalted his truth above his name. I'm not sure you're getting it now.
Yes,
like for example now, Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 12, which said God will do everything. In English Bible, what you see there, God will do everything to bring his word to pass. That's why you see pastors, prophet will come, touch them anointed. But if the right word has been translated, in English, what should have been that God will do everything to bring his truth to pass. Of course, if we have seen that, do you know what? Anytime a pastor like me is preaching, all your concern is pastor saying the truth or not. But because it was a secondary tertiary, that truth was lost. Thank God for restoration of the truth. Restoration is coming. And that is why all of us should be on board, God's people. We must labor to get the only one truth out there, out of the 101. Don't be content with 99 truth, one error. Let me tell you, truth is like rotten egg. If you have 99 good eggs, are you with me? Beat one rotten egg, spoiled egg, into that, the omelet is bad. It's as bad as the one that none of the eggs is good. That is how this 101 entity in life is. So what you find me sharing with you here is just that one. That's why you see sometimes people say, people, and when we examine the truth, say, this is not right. Even though it sounds right. So when God says we should pray for our enemies, the prayer we should pray for them is clear. And I've told you, if you don't even know what to do for your enemies, say God bless you. Or I hand you over to God. But to say you will not see tomorrow, as you have hurt me, so shall pain come to you. You have enlisted yourself into the academy of witches and wizards. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Do you hear what I've just said?
Yes, sir.
That's why God said, in fact, let me tell you this. Because somebody, okay, beautiful. Let's look at it this way. I'm sure all of us have had people steal from us from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
So why didn't you steal that stealing?
No, sir.
That one is ha. But people offend us. We say, Holy Ghost,
Fire.
such things. And all of you, your phone would have been sent. Some of you have sent it to me. If you know what I do when you send those things to me, I just control or delete. How you will know whether you send the right thing to me? If I return it with just an emoticon, na nonsense you send to me. But if I use my hand to say you're welcome or thank you, know that what you send it to another, I've given you now. Or if I just send a prepaid design, maybe a picture somebody sent to me, know that it's just because I'm your pastor. I don't want to spoil your day. That's why I just returned that one. I've already deleted the junk you sent to me. A lot of things has been flying. Some will say, there's many days to the end of the year. That's how you will see many days of miracle. Is that how miracle happen? Which miracle did China do? Do you know, as I'm talking now, China is imprisoning religious people, including Christians, pulling down church buildings and mosques, and jailing them. And yet they are progressing. Over here, we'll be praying. Some people have not said because they went for Caro service.
Yes, sir.
Caro, you even look like. So that's one word said when you hear, you know that it's something that takes your brain away. Let me tell you, best of music doesn't. The church doesn't have the best of music. I'm a person of music, and I can tell you the church does not have the best of music. One old man who is the oldest witch in the church denomination will now be the conductor. And those men too who are using style to toast other people's wife. Come and worship God. Then you see the single girls who have thought they came to this world to marry. You will now make them the treble and soprano. If you have ever lived in the village, that is how hyenas sound at night. And you say God is in that room. The worst is this December 31.
Yes.
In fact, if you are looking for a day of stupidity, it's December 31. How can a whole 365 days change in some matter of hours? That's the highest stupidity if you ever believe such nonsense. When you have countries, let me tell you the truth. On that December 31st, if you love it, go and enjoy yourself. You hear what I've said?
Yes, sir.
I didn't say go and sing. I said go and enjoy yourself. How does enjoy the time?
Go and see.
Because I know some of you are drinking. All those things you have suppressed from January 1 to December 30. Because I've said go and enjoy yourself, and you will now manifest it. You will now be cleaning. Did I say go and sing? You will not kill yourself. Your blood is on your own neck. I said enjoy. I didn't say kill yourself. I didn't say sin.
How do you enjoy? How do you enjoy myself?
I don't know. Did you consult me before you ate breakfast today? Everybody know what. Like me now, I'm a person of music. If I want to enjoy, I listen to music. That's me. Some of you, I know what is happening. That's, in fact, hello, this will help you. If you don't know what meaning of enjoyment is, you have enlisted to the school of slavery. Because as an adult, you should know how to enjoy yourself. Sisters, I hope you are listening.
Yes, sir.
Sisters.
Yes, sir.
Especially married sisters.
Yes, sir.
Sisters.
Yes, sir.
Sisters.
Yes, sir.
Sisters.
Yes, sir.
How many times did I call you?
3 times. Yes, sir.
If since you married, sisters, listen, you have not enjoyed yourself. Sorry, you are no more a daughter of the Most High. You have become a slave of your husband. Because there is nowhere in the scripture that says that the two shall be one and enjoyment of your life will stop. Sisters, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
If you used to be a dancer and you stop dancing because you are married, sorry, you are no more a dancer, you are a slave.
What kind of dance?
It's not your business, sir. We have to, sir, until I finish talking with sisters, I don't see anything. This is the sister show.
Thank you, sir.
Brothers, you are just hearing for education. And if you are, brothers,
Yes, sir.
if a married brother listening to me, what I've just said to the sisters now, I expect you the day your wife, see, let me tell you, brothers, if it's because of you, your wife, stop dancing. You think it's a good thing? I have good news for you. You're dead. That's true. We think some of these things. See, let me tell you, people of God, there's something that's a red line with God. And that is why a lot of pastors, now I've told you the highway to hell. No, Christ said there's an expressway to hell. And he said it's a wide lane. It's the way to heaven that is difficult and narrow. And he said many people, and I've told you the number one group of people that is on narrow is we pastors. Do you know why?
Why?
Apart from that, we are telling people lies. An average pastor turns God's people into slaves. See, let me tell you this. October 6 this year, how many years I said have I been preaching this gospel? 36 years. What did I tell you my own testimony was? I said because I've not seen a single soul from the thousands of people that have been privileged to pastor over these 36 years. I've not seen one person made a God out of me. I've not seen one person that cannot look at me there and say how they feel. That is my comfort. That's why I know my reward is big in heaven. Because I did not imprison any single soul. But you don't find that in nowadays pastors. In fact, the closer you are to a pastor, the more you become a slave. You lose your life. You can't do your own thing. One must, even if, number one error, church is not a building, church is people. You first of all blaspheme by building a church and putting cross there, cross that will choke you to death. You put cross there on top and call it cathedral. To now make it worse, you will now disciple these people, use their God-given time. Let me tell you, people of God, time is God-given. The scripture says, redeem the time. Listen to me. if you are not hearing the truth here, and you are to be listening to me, and I'm telling you a lie, you have wasted your time. And you will face God one day for wasting time. You see this pastor to show you how evil they are. They tell people that they wasted people's time. And on top of that, they will now have church sweeping committee. People will be coming to a building to be sweeping for free in the name of serving God. People of God, if you are in that kind of, get out. You are in a prison. Don't follow that pastor to hell. God can never be behind a man or woman who imprison another soul. Hello? Brothers, it's your turn now. Listen very well. You say African man is the man on top of hellfire. That's what we are. See, let me tell you this. Sisters, this might sound harsh. Until I started again. It's well.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Even though I'm talking to brothers, but this concerns you sisters, please. And this is going to help you. Do you know that in African tradition, an ideal wife is a woman that takes any rubbish the man throws? That's a perfect one. Brothers.
Yes, sir.
Brothers.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you the truth. If your wife is a typical African wife, I congratulate you. Your name is already enlisted in hellfire. Because there's no single soul. Please ask your question. Show me in the scriptures that what I'm saying, I'm blaspheming. There's no single person in heaven and will be in heaven that while you are on earth, somebody else was a slave to you. And sisters, I've told you, Proverbs 31 talks about the ideal woman. Proverbs 31 talks about wife material. Go and read Proverbs 31 very well. Apart from that, she's God-fearing. Apart from she's a woman of sound mind, she's a woman that has her own money. I saw a post today and I was happy. Wee hours of this morning. But this post was written by a woman and it made me happy. You know what the post said? He said, and it was a balanced post, but I was happy it was coming from a woman. This woman said that marriage, he said, fellow sister, he said, marriage is not for you to rehabilitate a badly raised man. That if that man in your life is badly raised, it's his parents' fault, not your fault. That is not your job. Because as if, thank God, some people are hearing this truth. And the second one he said, still continue talking to the woman. He said, the man is not an NGO. Work for your own money and have your money. Where did you see it? The scripture says you are supposed to be helpers to each other. When you use the word help, let me tell you the reason why we don't like the word help. We don't know it's a powerful word. Because of how bad, how wicked we are in our society. When you hear the word help, we imagine how we treat ourselves, domestic staff. So we think that's what it means for a wife to be helper to her husband. Let me tell you, when you use the word help, it means assistant. It means you are the one doing the primary job. The person is just there to give you the assistance. So brothers,
Yes, sir.
she's your helper. She's not your maid. And let me tell you, it's not just financially she's helping you pay the bill, even sexually. It's not your right to have her. And I prove to you, show me from the scripture that says it's your right to have her 24/7. The scripture is as standard. What the law of marriage says, he said, for this person, and a man leave his father and his mother. Most men have. That is why their mama is the Lord of their marriage. And this is I trust men. Most of us fathers don't get time. They are chasing their own girlfriend. So they don't have time to go to their son's marriage. But most husbands' mother, they don't have job. Even when they are civil servant, they are retired, they want to poke nose into their son's marriage. Because they know that their daughter will give them sniper to drink. So it's the son that they will come. So, see, why your marriage is talking, brothers? But you have not left your father and mother. See, sisters, especially that you never, even you that you are married, it's not too late. The woman at the well of Samaria married 5 times. Christ did not say she sinned. You have only married once. You can still go 5 times more. Yes, now. Am I encouraging divorce? See, there was no marriage in the first instance. Because society believes you are married, because you and your wife believe you, doesn't mean you are married. Sisters, don't let men deceive you. Sisters, listen to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Huh? Any mommy's boy you marry, you can never marry mommy's boy. You can never. Mommy's boy can never marry. And sisters,
Yes, sir.
there's nowhere in the scripture that says you forget your mama. Madam is here. Madam. Hello, madam. Say, I have go ahead to deal with him, but
Yes,
so I hope you are appreciating this thing. How you know where God is the truth. Not anything else. In fact, see the story of Elijah. There was earthquake, there was thunder, there was fire, but God was not there. But when a still small voice started speaking the truth, that's Holy Spirit. He said God showed up. Some of us, we are so emotional. Once we hear God in a song, even the ending of that song is that God, you are stupid. You are not even thinking, what comes after the word God? How can you be singing a song like that? I said it's a godly song. When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. Don't you know what I mean? What do you have to know what that song means? You, God Almighty, you created us as zombies. It's zombies that cannot say no. You are not created a zombie. God is not a zombie. He said, God said, let us create man in our image and after our likeness. That's why I'm telling you, whether you're a man or a woman, you are created in God's image and you should have the ability to say no to people. This your pastor knows what is doing. That is why I make all of you free to say no to me. And I'm here to see, ask all the people that are close to me, starting from me. He's the number one rebel that says no. And he's still retaining his job as my PA. No, it's true. You know why? Because our Lord and Savior Christ, who betrayed him, he's not Judas. Who was in charge of his money? And let me tell you, you cannot say you are in charge of God, you cannot accommodate your enemy who is stealing from your purse to oversee your finances. Yet, brothers, you say she's your wife. She has not stolen anything. Even if she steals her money. We can help. I've told you before, not brother, I told all of you, I said, go and do the job. None of you came back to tell me it's true. But you know it's true. Now, once your wife gets pregnant, her body changes for life. It's true. A woman's body never goes back to the default once she takes in for you. And you are not telling me that you walk away. You say, how much money can pay for that change your body for life? Even if she carries all your money, it's her money. How many men can trust their wife with their money? And you say it's your wife. She's not your wife. Tell yourself the truth. And sisters, please stop all this adopted responsibility. What did I say?
Adopted responsibility.
I didn't say adopted child. I said adopted responsibility. Child is child. Whether there is nothing like adopted child before God. In fact, the Bible says that we Christians will receive spirit of adoption. So there's not the adopted children. I'm talking about adopted responsibility. You know the adopted responsibility.
No, sir.
Hello?
Sir.
Sister, do you know why I said adopted responsibility?
No, sir.
Should I tell you what is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me see a sister. What should I give any sister that gets this one? I won't tell you, I'll give you something. Only sisters. Which sister can guess what responsibility I'm referring to? That many sisters make their own when it's not their own. I want this only sister I want to attempt. Which responsibility am I thinking about when I said stop taking on this adopted responsibility? Because it's not your responsibility, but you are taking it on yourself. No. Some become a man one day. It's not that. It's not taking care of the man. Now we are watching the social in case any of our sisters there. Sisters, any suggestion? Any attempt? There's an attempt. Okay, let me say, since sisters don't want to talk. The responsibility I have in mind is your marriage. What did I say the responsibility is?
Marriage.
Sisters,
Yes, sir.
it's not your responsibility for your marriage to work. If your marriage works, it's the man's testimony. If your marriage does not work, it's his own shame. That's why I've told you, you have only been the first one. Christ talked to a woman who has gone 5 times. And the 6th one, this woman said she's not a marriage. And Christ said you are an honest woman. But it's the truth. Truth is always hot like that. You hear what I've just said? That's why many men are going to hell. Sorry to say. Because your responsibility, you have shifted it to the woman. And let me tell you, sisters, starting from the first man, Adam, please listen to this one. If a man is telling you the truth, it's Christ in him that is telling you the truth, not the Adam in him. The Adam inside every man, starting from this your pastor, tells a lie.
This Christmas.
Christmas is about truth now.
Yes.
What is the truth? Let me tell you. Let me tell you what I'm praying, and it's going to happen. Whether Shinning or outside, it's going to start happening. I'm praying that married women will begin to stand in their marriage and walk away. I want to see women who are not damaged, even though they are married 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. They are still standing tall. All these things is mindset. It has nothing to do with God. It has to do with culture. And Christ said, culture, tradition will not make God's word to work for you. You don't have any enemy anywhere. The enemy you have is that your wrong culture that you believe. That you are not complete if you are not in the man's house. Why must the house be the man? It's your house. Go and read Proverbs. God says when people marry, the house belongs to the woman. Go and read your Bible. That's why Oyibo culture that is why the Oyibo land is blessed is because of that. Not as if God is Oyibo. If I even believe God is more black than Oyibo, you know why? Go and read Revelation. When Apostle John saw Christ, see how he described his skin of Christ. He said golden. Who has golden skin? Is it not we Africans? Oyibo skin is ladyfish. This the pink ladyfish. They have their own skin. It's we that have golden brown. That is how skin Christ. That means that from every likelihood, Christ was African. And people that go for pilgrimage, Mary, Jesus' mom, okay, her family house is still in present day Turkey. And her family line is the Turkish African or African Turkish. They are Turkish but of African descent. So from every likelihood, Mary is likely to have been a black woman. And guess what? When research was done, Eve was the first black woman. See how many black people God has been using. Rahab was a black woman. They can't you know. And yet, you sisters that are fearfully and wonderfully made, you have had dream growing up that you wish you are an Oyibo woman. When the Oyibo say, I wish they are you. Do you know that somebody only persecutes you when they feel you have something that they don't have? Why do you think the Oyibos enslaved Africa? God is so strength in the black gene that they don't have. See what's the name of this boxer? Anthony Joshua.
Yes, sir.
See the rematch. See that upper cut. I mean, that guy will take months before his jaw will heal. And we have young boys in shining light. See how our sons in shining light, 2-year-old. See how they stand for class. Which Oyibo boy, 2-year-old, stand like our male sons in shining light. See how they stand correct. Celebrate what you have, people of God.
Yes,
Celebrate it. Our sisters, you are getting this.
yes, sir.
Because let me tell you this. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Who could be in heaven, but you will remember this service. You will remember that King Uchechi said, today is supposed to be Christmas. You will remember. See, when we get to heaven, none of us will be rewarded for marriage. That's the truth. Marriage is not anybody's purpose. What invented marriage is supposed to be a support system. Let me tell you what marriage is. Will I tell you?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to hear this?
Yes,
Especially sisters, guys. Sorry, sisters, I'm disappointing you today. Let me tell you what marriage is.
yes,
Marriage is like this microphone that you are using to hear me well. And guess what? If this microphone is not working, what do I do? That means that if your marriage is not a microphone, making the better out of you is pursuit.
It's what? It's wanted for men.
If this mic is not working, if you love the mic so much, what try to repair it? Or if it's not repairable,
You discard it. No. Yes, sir.
yes, now, if your marriage is not try to repair it, if you can't repair it, dispose it. Did madam buy you?
I want that.
That no, madam is you. Did madam buy you? You are asking, sir. Did madam buy you? Did madam buy you? No, it's true. You see why pastor has to marry now? Can you imagine what Apostle Paul faced?
That's true.
Apostle Paul was not married. The people would have been telling, no wonder he didn't marry. Some people already say, no wonder my mama is quiet. See, mama talks now. You need to know when I started pastoring mama. Mama will be that I will purposely make mama to lead praise worship. And deliberately move her from prayer coordinator. But of course, from day one, we don't have prayer meetings. So when they're having prayers and you won't be there, Mama will not say one word. Mama is talks now. So don't think that Mama's divine nature is just not, it's just quiet, okay?
Yes,
Before you think pastor is a terrorist. The only place I terrorize people is on pulpit. One on, you are terrorize people, one on one. If I terrorize one on one, the church will have been empty long time. All right. But I hope we are getting this.
Sir, I want to. Sir, since now, sir, does the messenger of the truth has anything to do with the quality or has anything to do with the quality of the truth? Because like what you have said now, the truth might not really be from God's word. It might be even from herbalist. That's what I want to.
The question King Lenus is asking for clarity. He said, does the deliverer of the message, the messenger, has something to do with the quality of the message? Yes, yes, and yes. 100% yes. That's why in Romans chapter 10, verse 15, he started from verse 13. So whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. He said, how can you call on him you have not believed? How can you believe if you have not heard? You see, the next one, he personified, God personified it. He said, how can you hear without a preacher? Which means that the message has that which is why faithful ministers are the only untouchable people. Because what makes a faithful minister is not the crowd, it's not the popularity, it's the fact that they downloaded 100% the truth, not 99%. And before you can download that, that means that you took time to study, to take out the wrong 100 and pick just that one, which is the truth. That's why. Because the messenger has everything to do with the quality of truth coming out. So the answer is yes. That is the reason why sometimes God can make a donkey to speak, but it doesn't mean that you make a donkey your pastor. The person you should follow as your pastor is somebody that you know him that is addicted to the truth. Even if the truth affects him, he will tell you, this is me, follow the truth. Understand? So, but you cannot ask, oh, because this happened, this I got the truth from the happened, that he should be my pastor. Okay?
Yes.
Just like God used the jawbone of a donkey for Samson. Immediately Samson is done, you threw it away. And sometimes have I not gotten the truth from you? Sometimes revelation comes from the question you ask. Does that mean you ask it? Does that mean you have become the pastor? Sisters, I hope you are here.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
So you know where I'm going, sisters? Because he helped you to pay the bill of your school fees. Doesn't mean he's your Lord. You are still the wife, you are still the Lord of that relationship. That was why there was no marriage before Eve was created. So that means that there is no marriage without you. He is the one that needs you. That's why no man can do a woman a favor. No man can do a woman a favor. If you do a woman a favor, it's not because you're a man. It must be something else. Maybe because you are a boss, maybe because you are a pastor, maybe because you are, but not that you are a man and you are doing that. Even if you are a father, the fact that you're a man, you can't do that your daughter who is a woman a favor as a man. And that's why, as basic as sexual fellowship, the scripture says is the man that benefits from sexual fellowship. Sisters, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Stop believing all the tradition that the dead easily done for a woman or easily go dark for a woman. They are quickly born before you overreach productivity age. It's from Satan's Bible you see that. It's a man you are in favor when you give birth. Hello, sisters.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sisters.
Hello, sir.
How many of us believe that God is an intelligent God? You believe that?
Yes, sir.
Now, this second one, be honest. I want to see your. How many of you believe that God is stupid? Let me see your hand. You say no.
Yes, sir.
So God is not stupid. So why are you sisters praying to have children? Sorry, youth pastor. Sisters, are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear what I've just said? Why are you feeling bad that you didn't have a Jima like God the Father and God the King and Mama? That's not why many of you are envying Mama. That's not why you say our Mama is blessed among women. That's why I'm even your pastor, sir. And you have the anointing for twins. That's why you will control forward. You take picture of a twin. If you believe in this way, type amen. Send, and this miracle will be yours. Where have you seen it in the scriptures? Where God said, "Go unto you, barren woman." When God used that word, it was a barren land. He didn't say woman.
Thank you, sir.
There's nowhere. It's not your testimony. That's why God never faced Sarah. God faced Abraham. Did God change Sarah's name as a mother of multitude?
His father.
I say mother of multitude is satanic. He's father of multitude that is divine. And I like Sarah. You know that Sarah is the only example for you to follow, sisters. Do you know why? Sarah knows send Abraham. And this is a very beautiful woman. Do you know for Abraham to say, "Lie that I'm your brother"? That means that Abraham is not the one that dictates her dressing. So, sisters, if you're dressing and stay because you are married, it sounds right, but it's wrong. It shows that you're a slave. I know the sisters that tell others, "Don't you know you're a married woman?" Where do you see in the scriptures that marriage is dressing? If your dressing is wrong, it's wrong, not because you are married, but because you're a woman. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
If your dressing is wrong as a man, if you dress that way as a single man, it should also be equally wrong. I've told you so many of you do that you don't know. And upon your religion, when you do this thing, you are worse than even the prostitutes. I've said it before in the midweek service. Many of you sisters, you will go in the name of medical examination. You are allowing a man to examine you. You have to check Nigerian law. Once is the other gender, you have a right to say you want a woman to be there. How many of you have done that? And yet, you will be a blame prostitute. You have a right to demand. But the same woman will not say, "Let me tell you, there is what is called patient confidentiality." If you don't want your husband to know what you went to the doctor, he has no rights. Let me tell you, any doctor that does that and give your information at your back to your husband, you can sue the doctor. Go and confirm what happened. Nigerian Medical Association is a signatory to the World Medical Council. The patient's information is private to the patients. But we put sentiments. You know how many men, how many times your husband has gone to the doctor without you knowing? You know how many men have infected after me now? You will never tell the wife. But when it's your own, you must know. Let me see that in the scripture. These are the reasons why we are not on purpose. You are here for a reason, people of God. That reason is why you are here. If not for that reason, you will not be here. If not for that reason, God will not take you among the 170 million and say it's your turn. That is where, wherever gender, wherever tribe, race you find yourself today, people of God, you are divine.
Amen.
None of us is a mistake. You are not a mistake at conception. How can you be a mistake at marriage? What kind of nonsense is that? How can you be a mistake at when religion comes in? Is that not the two things that tells you you are a mistake? Answer me now.
Yes, sir.
Is it not marriage and religion?
Yes, sir.
Do you know how many people are supposed to be the best engineer, the best doctor, the best sportsman, the best artist? They treat all the way in the name of being born again. They treat all the way in the name of marriage. You know what I mean? Let me tell you, things like engineering is your purpose. But should I tell you the truth? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Being rich is not your purpose. Employing people to be working for you and saying yes sir to you is not your purpose. But being an engineer, being a doctor, those things can be your purpose. The same with being married is not your purpose. Having children is not your purpose. Children are God's heritage. In fact, let me tell you this. Science has proven that what brings children to this world is your body, not you. Hello? What did I just say? You will not be speaking in tongues. But when it's one lie, you will speak in English. I will say it loud. Science has proven what the scripture said from day one. That's why Abraham was. Let me tell you why Abraham is a friend of God. But Abraham has common sense. Go and read Romans chapter 4. Abraham did not pray for any demon. Abraham knew that what brings children to this world is body, not you. What Abraham believed for was his own body coming alive and the wife's womb. And he didn't even say Sarah. He said Sarah's womb. Now they could have carried Sarah's womb to somebody. Sisters,
yes, sir.
don't be treating your children. Now me born you. You must listen to me. I God not give me your son. The day you say that must listen. That's the day I will stop listening to you. Until you say you are sorry. Sister, do you hear what I've said?
Yes, sir.
See, sisters, I'm exposing kingdom of darkness to it's really Christmas. Sisters,
Yes, sir.
some of you are members of the Witchcraft Association, but you don't know. I will tell you. Once your children are already adults, and you are suggesting to them what they should do with their life, they're a member of the Witchcraft Association. But what the scripture says, train up a child in the way the child will go. When he's grown up, he will not depart. He said when he's grown up, he will keep on listening to you for advice. And if, sisters, again, if as an adult you are independent of your mama, talk less of the grace she has, he is now one Adam descendant, liars descendant, cheaters descendant. You know, that's the man. The only face of an average man like me look like that of a cheater. That's why men cheat a lot. See, if a man ever tell you, I will never cheat on you, they are lying. What a man can tell you is I love you. Believe. But if he says, I will not, don't believe anything, NOT. That's why correct men never tell their wife NOT. They will tell you, I will do this, yes. But if you say, man, say, I will not do this, continue. You are married to Satan's favorite picking. I remember what Satan came to do. The Satan came to steal, kill, and destroy. That man will steal from you. After he steal your beauty finish, and they beat you, that's when they will not say that your waistline has increased. Sisters, that even reminds me. Sisters,
Yes,
you know, we have been exposing two associations today. On one association of witchcraft, then the association of slaves. See, sisters,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If that gym you are going to, that losing weight is for a man, you are a slave. You are not son or not daughter of the Most High. If you are going to do, go for yourself.
Yes, sir.
Don't go for any man. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
See, any man that complains about your size, are you with me? Is not fit to have anything with you. He has become a bad microphone in your life. And if I want to repair the microphone, is it not people that repair microphone? who repair men, pastors like me.
Thank you, sir.
Send him to me. But you know what many of you do? You will not. How will I? But Madam is here, she knows. You will even come and give testimony. I know you. I know you give testimony. How you are getting this thing? Because God wants you to fulfill your purpose. In fact, let me tell you this, brothers. What you don't know is this: the best of husband is the husband that because of them, their wife fulfill their purpose. That's the best of them. That you can encourage your wife. Those are the Aquilas of this world. Imagine what Aquila got in all of Acts of Apostles. There is no other Christian that was mentioned that he was successful. And you know what made him to be successful? Because he made sure that he did not contribute in any way to hinder the wife fulfilling her purpose. That's why. See, let me tell you, this doctrine of free lunch is not scriptural. It's called grace. It's called unmerited favor. Now, any good or bad thing that happens to your life, there's a reason it's happening. Because you don't know the reason why it's happening does not mean there is no reason. There is a reason. If you remember about 3 Sundays ago or 4 Sundays ago, now I was just coffee and coffee. Yeah. Some people thought it was demon, they were binding and losing. The reason for that because I had not slept for almost 72 hours. And immediately I was able to get some sleep, it disappeared. But you know, if some people, some pastor will collect offering from the floor that day. You don't see some pastor like that. And you see people still stupidly sitting under such power. When they are sick, you contribute. When it's your own turn to be sick, they say trust the Lord. Go to the church. You know there is pastors and the family that go to hospital. The members don't go to hospital. They tell them to drink anointing oil. Somebody that is having ulcer, they are saying you drink anointing oil. Even if you are, and those pastors are not nice, I think they should give milk to them to pacify the stomach. And I said, if you drink anointing oil. But when they are sick, that's why they don't like me. They said I'm spoiling market for them. I'm not even out to spoil market. Me, I'm out to take the truth and set the captive free. Wherever the captive free, for them to be free. That's a question? Okay. Now, let's see the update we have today. For starters, since King Luigi said I must remember today is Christmas. I don't know whether today is Christmas or Chris wait. But what I know is this. If you see me say Merry Christmas, I'm just doing that of courtesy because the scripture says we should have courtesy towards everybody. Say rejoice with them that rejoice. And do what? Weep with them that weep. You know what that means? And you have not fulfilled that scripture. If you only say Merry Christmas, you cannot say Baraka the Salah to you. You know, we don't know whether it was a Muslim wedding Christ went for that started his ministry. Now I've cut us to it. How many of us have greeted our Muslim neighbors, colleagues, Baraka the Salah when they were celebrating the birth of their prophet? Birth na battle. I've told you every birth is the same. Whether Jesus is one, Muhammad or Hare Krishna's one. Am I still your pastor? I'm your pastor. Yeah, so they give me salami that we eat. Now we fight. And you know those salami, they are really the matured ram. Not like the baby ram people use for Christmas. When you season it very well, barbecue it. You like scriptures. The Colossians were struggling with it. Apostle Paul told them that who is your pastor, you people? They said you. They said you have your pastor. He said you won't refuse anything. Receive me with thanksgiving. That's one of the reasons why the gospel is not spreading. Because the people you are preaching to, you are not different from them. They are segregating, you two, you are segregating. See, marriage, that's one of the reasons why marriage is not working. You know why? Because marriage is supposed to involve three people. And the three people, the man, his wife, and their God. I didn't say their religion. There was no church building in the garden when Adam and Eve. Do you, hey, this is your, do you know God even called angels to come and witness? No, there was no bridal tree. Sister, I hope you are listening.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you your husband's real wife. Sisters,
Yes, sir.
Okay, those points.
Yes, sir.
should I tell you your husband's real wife?
Yes, sir.
Is that woman? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
He locked his eyes on without witnesses. The reason why you are not his wife, he only told you that because witnesses are there. With my body, I didn't know you. The real wife is the one in honor without witness. That's why no angel even witness Adam and Eve. Sisters, I will tell you this other one. You are the one that caused this one. Some of you, the man wanted to marry you, but you are the one that didn't make the marriage. But you know why?
Yes, sir.
On that day of the ceremony, you are talking. Any marriage ceremony that the wife utter a word is not marriage. If say it,
No,
this is how you look at. You know that way, the way woman look at it, when the man is messing up, this is how you. You know what they call this thing? I frequent my nose. So you women can do that thing a lot. No one can do it. Every man has it. Unless you do that on that day, you don't have a marriage. No, am I not? Is it not what's happening? If you are on social media, you will see woman on the day of the engagement. They are the one that will post. The man will not post anything. The one that will post is tantalizing me. It's fried rising me. My sugar in my cupcake. My smoothie in my football. Which is now the reason why, when he now says he's not doing it again, you want to kill yourself. Because you are wrongly see, sisters, don't feel bad. Remember what I told you last Sunday? I said if you have made mistake and you can correct yourself, you are better than somebody who has not made mistake. Which is what Christ brought, power of resurrection. When you can pick up your, in fact, let me tell you this, if you're in a bad language today, I congratulate you. You know why? Because you have opportunity to be better than somebody who got today. That's the truth. Resurrection is higher than life. Always look at life, a glass half full, not half empty. Never lose hope. That hope is God giving gift to you. Always look bright. Are you with me, people of God?
Yes, sir.
Never write off yourself, no matter what it is. Even if you're a brother too that you have been a monster, you can change. You can turn a new leaf. You know me, I don't spare myself. Remember, I gave you some years ago something that I used to think was a testimony of integrity. I didn't know it was testimony of foolishness. I didn't ask for offering. Way back in 1989, when the exchange rate then, when you exchange them, somebody out of their own free will appreciated me with 1 million naira. I called that integrity, I turned it down. But now I know better. I can now laugh over that incident. Hey, so I was this deaf and dumb. That's how you should take life, okay?
yes, sir.
If anybody tells you that they have never made mistakes, they are telling a lie. We all make mistakes. But put yourself together. Encourage yourself in the Lord. Tell yourself it's not over. Don't let your mistake. See, go and study the lives of these researchers, these scientists, these engineers of people. Before they succeeded in discovering that law, they failed many times. In fact, the most respected president in the United States, he failed in politics 13 times. It was the 14th attempt he became the president. You can imagine. And guess what? That 13th time, he failed as a vice president, chair candidate. You can imagine if you have said there's no, get the 14th time. What about our president? Even the election he won, he was doing that. He still kept on contesting. He didn't give up. That's how you should look at your life. Don't give up. That's why the devil is afflicted. That's why the devil is reminding you of that your mistake. Are you with me? Shall see yourself. See, let me tell you, there's one statement, and when people say it, even if I'm the one saying that, devil talking. Should I tell you that statement?
Yes,
see your mate. Anytime anybody tells you that word, see your mate, now devil talk. Even if it's me that said it, it's devil that is speaking through me. Because God sees you as an individual. God never compares you with another adult. Even if that person is your identical to God, you are still an individual. Are you with me?
yes, sir.
All this, my friend that man, you know that is not married. So if people have committed suicide and you see that they are drinking cyanide is not even popular anymore. What do you call sniper? So you will carry sniper. Somebody answer me now.
No, sir. No, sir.
Sister, do you see that all this see your mate is coming from the devil? It's coming from the devil. Do you know many people that you are envy that they have money? You'll be so surprised that you are much more happier than them. And your mama will remember this many years ago. One of these, many people are pastors. This lady was in university then. Instead of this, I thought she was doing these wrong girls all over the place. And one day she just appeared. You know when somebody that been preaching to just as ready to be born again, know that something pursued them. That's how they do. And way back that time, money was still more value now. Just begin to carry her from campus, say they should come there to promise 100,000. Immediately she had 100,000 naira. Immediately she saw what she's supposed to sleep with 100,000. She now ran away and now ran there. That was when she knew that. That's why sometimes people don't act as if they don't have time. You just keep on doing your bit. A day will come that they will remember that you are God sent into their life. If somebody who has never been here before, that day she found the way here. Started talking. So something can pursue you and know that you have a passion. That's how all of us are. There's an importance in all of us. Are you with me? Even if I'm telling you, don't let it bother you. You are not their image, but your heavenly Father's image. That's why God told us that our God-given contact, which is our parents, and that's what we think. So even if our parents reject us, He said He will receive us. So if that is the case, let the man reject you, let the woman reject you, let that your place of work reject you. God is there to receive you. And when God receives you, reception, it will be with a cloud of witness. You'll be able to stand tall and rejoice. Don't worry, you are getting there. Amen. You just keep on tagging along. Okay, that's a question.
My question is, how do we differentiate our purpose from our passion? And then this verse, 2 Timothy 2 verse 10 and 13.
Second Timothy
2 verse 10.
Chapter 2 verse 13. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 13. Verse 13. That says, if we believe not, yet he abided faithful. That is scripture.
Yes.
Now, to understand that scripture, it's better we read from verse 11. It's from verse 11 that Apostle Paul was talking about this particular subject matter. In verse 11 of 2 Timothy chapter 2, Apostle Paul said to Timothy, it's a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. If we suffer with him, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will also what? Deny us. That is Christ who died for us. We didn't say we forgive us and still hold on to us. Our sisters, you are listening.
Yes, sir.
If when we saved people deny Christ, say Christ will deny us. So he's now a fellow human being that has denied you. You are still holding on to him. Am I making some sense, people of God? Verse 13. He says, if we believe not, yet he abided faithful. Because what? He cannot deny himself. Now, this passage of the scripture, Apostle Paul was trying to tell Pastor Timothy what all of us' attitude to our purpose should be. Like I said, our purpose is why we're here. Now, when Adam fell in the Garden of Eden, okay, one of the things that was affected is we getting to know our purpose. There's a disconnect. But because our emotion was still intact, it's our human spirit that died, but our emotions were still intact. And emotions is the mother of our passion. So there will be things we all still be passionate about. Now, when we get saved and we discover our purpose, what we should learn to do is now make our passion to be that purpose. Because that's why we're here. Again, our purpose is why we are here. Okay? And because of Christ and what Adam did with the Adamic covenant, the present purpose now can be grouped into three. You are either a flock. I will still come to that. Or a preacher or an handmaiden. Those are the three purposes. Group or purpose. Now, when I say a flock, you are not a flock of a pastor. You are God's own flock. There is nowhere the congregation is ever called the flock of the pastor. They are called God's own flock. Now, what does the grace, the purpose of a flock? It is a territorial purpose. It is to bring results, to bring life, to bring smile, to bring solution to humanity wherever you are. To whoever has any form of contact, either space or work or blood or love, anybody that has. Which is the reason why Apostle Peter and Apostle Paul said, even if your spouse is not saved, for the fact that you are saved and you are faithful, your grace as a flock will sanctify, will be a blessing, because that's your purpose. But you see, of course, it might not be in business. You get it? Your purpose as a flock will not be manifested. You understand? It might be in the family. You get it? It might even be because of your particular tribe. But once it's territorial like that, it's because you're a flock. That is why nobody actually can step into their purpose until they are saved. But you see, all of us, we have passions. Now, the good thing about knowing your passion is this. if you are never a recognizer and enjoyer, I don't know, there's no English word like that, but I want to use it to eat the truth. What I mean by if you didn't recognize your passion and you enjoy following your passion, you will have difficulty following your purpose. And the reason is this: one of the laws of faithfulness says, if you are not faithful in what is not yours, God cannot give you what is your own. I hope you are. So that's what I normally say. That your passion, which is what you enjoy doing, that's what the definition of passion. Something you enjoy doing. Of course, I don't expect somebody to say theft is their passion. Okay? Or imprison people, inflicting pain on people. No. That good thing, that nice thing that you enjoy doing, that's your passion. Once you recognize passion, then enjoy doing that passion. Are you with me? As long as you're saved, as long as you're saved, it's because you are enjoying doing your passion, God will quicken your purpose out. You understand? So because of wrong upbringing, in Africa, you see people having things like marriage and childbirth as their purpose. It's very sad. Such a thing should not be our purpose. It should be things like education. It should be things like engineering. It should be things like graphic arts. It should be things that add value to life that should be our passion. That's why if you notice, most of us, our parents will tell us that when we grew up as adults, we started pursuing a particular career or profession. We have shown signs as kids that this is what. That's why you see the Montessori system of education for elementary is such that expose children to various fields of passion and process, so that whatever is their passion can start coming out. And parents, please, your children are God's heritage. None of us owns our child. Are you with me? There's nothing like I want you to be a doctor. What if that's not that child's passion? You understand? And once you see your children, even if it's not something you like as a passion, don't discourage them. Okay? Encourage them. Why? Because once any of us can be good at our passion, our purpose, that will be this raw material God will use. Okay? To quicken up. And it will be the same zeal we'll be able to put. That's why when people see me, some people will think I went to a seminary or I read religious studies. Because they see the zeal, the love I put into preaching this truth. But you know what gave me that? When, right from day one, music, I've shared my story. I will not go to school. As low as nursery school, they must play a particular record. If not, that day there's no school for me. To the point that when I started primary school, by primary 4, I was already the drummer boy for this old school. In fact, there was a mosque down our street. I went to join the mosque to teach the, I forgot what they call them, those small boys that go to the madrasat. There's a name they call them. Islamia. In the Islamia. How to teach those boys how to play the Islamic. And let me tell you how passionate this was. The first time I traveled, but it was during, that was about 8-9 years ago. It was during the fasting. As we were breaking the fast and celebrating, I done part of their music band there. That's just my passion. But you know what that did for me? Is that same love that I had for music. You understand? That I had for engineering, that I had for military. That I'm translating into preaching the truth now. When I finally discovered, I'm not here to play music. Even though I'm good at it. I'm not here. Not even know that space was fake that time. Because my mission to be an engineer is to be the first black skin that will land on the moon. and be designing spacecrafts, not even know that there's nothing like that. You know? Okay?
Yeah.
And that is because of my love for the military. That's why I had my short stints in the military. But you know, the minute I discovered that's not why I'm here. You get it? It was that same zeal I put into those three. I just carried them and put. That was some days ago. Me and Mama are gisting how I dated man. Very crude. Brothers, don't copy this example. If your wife says no to you, you're on your own. Okay? There are better ways you can toast a woman like that. All I told Mama, I said the only thing that will not change me is preaching the word. No, please don't go and toast a woman like that. It's not good. And they make her feel like a human being. I will not go and meet a woman. The only thing that won't change about is preaching the word. I don't promise you anything, but and I told her you are free to do anything. The day you are done with me, just let me know you are done. I won't hold you back. Please don't. Brothers, you are hearing, no. Before you say Pastor gave his testimony, if he says no to you, that's why I always appreciate man for not saying no. That is very cool. I think I could have packaged it in a better way. I could have said, you look like Eve. You know that God brought. I could have at least talk nice more. I hope you are hearing me, brothers. So before you now say me, you know me. When something is good, it's good. Once it's not good, it's not good. But you see, it's because I'd already, in fact, I pastored Mama 7 years before I started seeing her as a woman and me as a man. You know, so she knows she's marrying a man because that was my purpose. So I hope you can, that answers the question, please. So our passion is what all of us will always love to do. But our purpose is why we are here. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Because of the fall of man, that is why most of us might not discover our purpose until we are saved. But whether you are saved or not, there will always be things you are passionate about. Please, those things you are passionate about, don't throw them away. You get it? Don't let anybody talk you out of it. If that thing is not your purpose, by the day you discover your purpose, it's your love for that that will make you to be faithful in your purpose. And I've seen some people, what they are passionate about ended up being their purpose. You understand?
Yes.
So that is the difference. Passion is what we will all as adult human we enjoy doing. We are never tired of doing. Do you understand?
Yes,
All the other things in my life were Jara. Things like football, that one is Jara. I could, you would have loved playing football. It was just those three. But because I gave myself to them, it was easy for me to just transfer the love and put in preaching the truth. How will we get that, please?
Yes, sir.
Right. I hope that answers the question. So let's go through our update that we all have on our phones and for our study, so I'll be able to see what it entails, and I'm sure I'll be able to satisfy King Uchechi's curiosity about Christmas. The first update, and I want to appreciate brother among us, even though I told the brother that why didn't he ask this question last service? If you remember, last service what produced this update, this hand of divine attribute. Can you realize that, God's people?
yes.
Do we realize that, God's people, please?
Yes.
Yes.
But after the service, when the brother asked me, the brother said, why did you ask that it would have really helped the brethren if the question was asked? Of course, I sat last service. What we have on our right is what was like the nature of God, the divine attribute. But after the service, when this brother asked the question about faith, that God said the judge shall live by his own faith. And faith, even though it is from God, is what will determine our eternal hope. That shouldn't faith be the hand. Because you need faith in the truth, you need faith in To walk by love, you need faith. To have a sound mind, you need faith. To believe in the grace of God in your life, and you need faith to have victory and have result. And when the brother had it, it made a lot of sense. And that is what necessitated the change of these attributes. And when you really look at it, faith is what makes the other five to work. If you don't have faith in God's power, will God's power work for you? Yes, if you don't have faith in the grace of God, the way you are designed for your purpose, can you walk in it? Yes, if you don't have faith in sound mind, will you ever have sound mind? Yes, if you don't have faith in being nice, will you be a nice person? Yes, and ultimately, this truth I'm sharing, if you don't have faith in it, we will be able to believe in the truth. So, and that's why faith is actually the hand of divine nature. And these are the five attributes. From the lowest, dunamis, God's power, signs and wonders, results, victory, to the highest, which is the truth. And this also is an illustration of our main theme, 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8, that none of us can do anything against the truth, but for the truth. And it's actually the truth that is the difference between heaven and hell. That is why it appropriately is the term. Another thing we will notice, obedience is part of faith, not part of righteousness. You can only obey what you have faith in. What you don't have faith in, you cannot obey it. Yes or no? So, I hope we understand this first update. So, can we proceed, please?
Yes.
The next update has to do with the hand of coins. Remember what I said last service? I said instead of saying a man and wife, people are thinking wife means married woman. That I will start using kings and coins. Kings will represent an ideal man. Coin will represent the ideal woman that God created you to be. And what you have on our right is the qualities. But you will see that I edited the little finger on our left. Okay, it has not changed on your own screen. Can anybody see what I'm sharing on their screen now about hand of coins?
Yes.
So can everybody see what I'm...
Yes, sir.
So what is on the right is what we had as on Sunday about the qualities that make an ideal woman. That is when you are a woman and you are not, this is the qualities you are supposed to have. But if you notice, I edited the little finger, which is your lowest quality. You see again, sister, what I'm talking about. Your relationship with a man is your lowest quality. Sisters, I hope you can see that.
Yes,
your highest quality is fulfill your purpose. Why are you here? Are you getting it?
Yes,
Then, children, whether you're home or not, an ideal woman, a queen, is a protector of the child. An ideal woman will do everything to protect a child, whether starting from their own. But the judge shall live by his own faith. But every other child, to what you won't give your child, you will not give another child. Then the third finger is hard work. An ideal woman is also hard working. You prefer your own money than somebody giving you money. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And that is why, men, I hope you are listening. One of the ways to prove that you love a woman, set her up. make her to be independent of you. When you make a woman dependent of you, it's a form of enslaving her. Okay? Invest in your woman. Let them be independent. Then the fourth finger still says, what does that say? Mom remembrance. Please forget all this tradition. And women, please stop invading your son's home. Your son's home is off limits to you. It's your daughter that you and your daughter have. Men, please listen to me. There is nowhere in the scripture where it says, for this cause shall the woman leave her father and mother. Are you with me? Ideal women, they don't abandon their mom. Ideal women don't abandon their mom. Okay? So when you're going to get married as a man, know that your wife's mom is not an alien in your home. I didn't say your marriage, I say your home. Nothing like mama cannot come. If you are going to say that, then don't marry her daughter. Okay? So the little finger, before I said king's lifter, this one will give the impression that a queen will always lift the hand of every king. No. It's a king that has accessed them, a king that has courted them, a king that has desired them. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
A king that has shown the responsibility over them. That's why I put king assessor lifter. Not all kings. It's a king that has assessed them. Can we see the difference, please?
Yes, sir.
Can we see the difference, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So any question on this before we move to the next one, please? Any question? So going to the next update. Which talks about hand of assessor. That is what the levels by which a man can be like a husband to a woman. Sisters, note that there's nothing like being a wife to the man. You are either a queen or not. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
What you can be, and it's not you dependent, is to be his queen. It's a man that makes you his queen. Our sisters were here.
Yes, sir.
And that is why we and our parents, we should raise up our daughters to let them know that a queen never makes herself a king or a man's queen. It's the man that can make them their queen. If you go to a departmental store, people of God, and you want to buy something and you see the thing is more expensive than your pocket, what do you do? What do you do, please? Blessed are kids before you will hear them cry. See, that's another awesomeness. Look at them. How many of you brothers have gone to the children's church since you have been hearing the cry? Or you are saying sorry, sorry, sorry from a distance? Sisters, you are already blessed, Jerry. Now, if we look at what we have on the right, and thank God for that same brother that I said asked the question after service. I was able to see that it's the same 5 levels of assessment. Are you with me? But desire is not the lowest. It's impregnation. And you know why impregnation is us arriving in this world. God just used our parents' body, not our parents. Hello? What did I just say, people of God? Used our parents' body, not our parents. And you know that there are people who had a child without meeting a man. They just got seed from a man's body. That's why you've had rapists impregnate their victim. And a bona fide life was still released from God. You now see what tradition has done to you, sisters. You know that tradition has made you to feel that the highest you are in a man's life is because you have a child for him. This is the truth, sisters. It's the lowest. Which is why I've been telling you, please be careful. Don't raise somebody else's child. As low as that woman that the father of your children is having sexual fellowship with is a demon or angel that will be affecting your children until they become adults. Not you, not your angel of their mother. That's why you've got to be careful. The only time it will not be solely yours is when you are a queen. When you are not lifting the man's hand. But if you are lifting the man's hand, it will be the angel or the demon of the woman is having sexual fellowship with. How do you understand that? And you are not lifting that, yes. You can have your children. I hope you understand that. Yes. Because you not lifting the hand of a man severes any relationship with a man. Now, brothers, we are listening. Yes, sir. Don't waste your destiny to brothers. Okay? Okay, sir. Even if it's the higher thing. Because listen to me, when you have desire, faith in a woman, please, brothers, listen to this. That woman will influence your destiny more than the one you are sleeping with. Just like the one you are sleeping with will affect you more than the one that has children for you. You say, that is what is on the screen. Oh, you have proved me wrong. Let me start. Hello, ma'am. Hello, father. Say, I will start with the scripture. The first, what Christ said in Matthew 5. He said, if a man looks at a woman lustfully, that has slept with her, that's desire. He said it's already done. You know why it's already done? Because it's already access what is greater than sleeping with her. I hope sisters, you are really listening. Yes, sir. You see that marriage has become a prison for women. Because the real wife of that man you have children while you are sleeping with might be a woman he has never slept with. But because he doesn't desire you, desires that one. That one has a higher influence in his life than you. That's why sisters, please learn to protect yourself. Learn to know when the woman doesn't have desire for you. Are you with me? Once he does it, if you can't cut off legally or legally, cut off from your heart. Your heart is yours. Stop lifting it up from your heart. That's it. With that one, you will fulfill your purpose. Your own angel can be there for your children. I hope, sister, you are getting this. Because this is lifelong. Another scripture, Apostle Paul, 1 Corinthians 6. He said, if a man have sexual fellowship with an adult, that man, not this prostitute, that man becomes one prostitute. That's why you see sometimes children come down with all kinds of sickness, all kinds of condition. And it's not the fault of their mother, it's the fault of their father. But the mother didn't know. Because the mother has been, see, this hand for women, tradition have turned it upside down. That's why you notice that most women don't respond to men that are responsible over them. That's why most women, the men they despise in their life is the most responsible one, their father. That's why the real man that you should agree for is the man that can be like a father to you, the way your father was. But those are the most, tradition has made that to be the most despised for many women. That's why you see women forget the wife of that man, which is their mother. The name of marriage. Next to that is men that are caught women. They are the next most despised. Next to that, the ones that believe in them. Then the ones they are sleeping. Most of that, the ones they have children for, that's what they'll be carrying. You'll be beating them, be treating their children. Just because it's a wrong mindset. This is the real thing. The man you should have the lowest, any form of rest is the one you have children from. Followed by the one, having said that, followed by the one that believes in you. Followed by the one that makes you feel like a woman, which is cotton. But the highest should be the one that feels responsible over you. The one that will not sleep until you have slept. The one that will not eat until he knows that you have eaten. Are you with me? Because this is the level of us. And let me tell you this again, sisters. Brothers, this tea, listen. Every adult human has this 5 capacity in them. What did I just say? Every. And they only have one of these 5 for a particular woman. No man will have responsibility and cutting for you. If he's showing the 2 states, it's responsibility. Okay, the highest. Are you with me? And that is why it's important for sisters that this is what makes marriage, this hand of ancestors, not your own quality. Are you with me? You might be a queen, but not his wife. Being a man's wife starts from him believing in you. It's that desire that makes him to be ready to forget his father and mother. You get it? It's the cutting that makes him to cleave to you. His responsibility that makes him to believe his life mission is to see you comfortable. You say, how do I know? See, when a man asks that for a woman, are you with me? He automatically knows what the woman needs. The woman doesn't need to, he's only waiting for the woman. Come. He takes it upon himself. It's an instinctive thing. And sister, please listen. If he's not doing it and instead he's a traditional man, it's a lie. I've prayed for you and God is going to answer that prayer. God will show you before him so that he won't deny you. He will be there. God will show you who the real wife is. So he won't deny you. You will see that that responsibility has it towards that. And you don't ask for it. Sister, don't make yourself responsible for marriage. This is what makes marriage. That's why you see I put husbands in brackets. Do we get that, please?
Yes, sir.
Any question, please? Ask question, God's people. Ask and you shall receive. Somebody asked a question and we got this update. Like I told that brother, I said you should have asked during the last service. Or sometimes when you ask something like that, more people are blessed. Like there's no guarantee that everybody that had last service is hearing this now. You understand? And that sometimes when the question comes up, just ask and everybody will be blessed. But do we understand this update and the right placement now? Do we understand that the lowest is when you get a woman pregnant? Because to get pregnant doesn't need a person, it needs the body. But there are people who have taken it without even know the father of the sower of the seed. Because if the sower of the seed matters, then all of us will not be unique. to be product of our parents, not product of God. And every child is unique. No child is a mistake. That is why, because a man got you pregnant, is the least important in your life. Okay? The one you have sexual fellowship with is higher. But the one that believes in you is higher than the one. You get it? And is sleeping with you. So, brothers, I hope you are listening. You can't be a woman if you know. And the best benefit is you benefit from a woman you believe in than the woman you are sleeping with. You understand?
Yes, sir.
In fact, let me tell you, religion. Have you ever looked at it's religion that mystifies sexual fellowship? Have you not noticed that? That's why in every religion, the greatest sinner is adulterer and fornicators. Nobody will excommunicate somebody that is a backbiter. Nobody will excommunicate somebody that is sowing discord among people. Nobody excommunicates somebody who is a liar. When you hear adultery, that's why people think, oh, once I'm having sexual family, that is the worst scenario. Listen to me. Worst scenario or the best scenario is responsibility. From a man to a woman. So, brothers, if your prayer is not answered, check which woman are you responsible to. That is the number one hindrance to your prayer. And if your prayer is not answered, go and thank her. Okay? But don't now deceive yourself. Oh, it's the one that murdered my child. You now call her a witch. You are the one that went to the witch, and the witch is the one you are responsible for. That's why many men don't know who is the power behind them. You know why? But they too mystify sex and childbirth. They don't know that maybe that their colleague or that their neighbor that they are responsible over is that one's angel or demon that is their work in their life. They are holding the innocent woman they abandoned at home. That's why you see such men, they will divorce one, go and marry. The thing is still continue. You know why? Because the person they are responsible over, they can never marry the person. In the world standard of marriage, that is, they living under the same roof or they having sexual fellowship. So, brothers, I hope you are with me. Go and read the law of marriage. Your real wife is already your wife before sex and childbirth got in there. He said, for this cause shall a man leave his father and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be what? One flesh. And that one flesh is not what made her your wife. It is starting from desire. You are there cutting to it, and the responsibility capped it. That's what made her your wife. Not sexual fellowship, and not the fact that you put her in the family way. I hope we got that, please.
Yes,
Our questions, please. Okay.
Sorry, sir. In this chat now, don't you think that impregnation should not be there, because you're the one that said that once a married woman or a woman is married to the husband and she doesn't have a child, her mind will always be whether to have a child or not. And if you don't have a child, she will just have the mind that she will have a child. She should not have the mind that she's getting married because of a child.
Yes, this supports it now because it's the lowest.
But you're not supposed to be there entirely. You're supposed to do another thing entirely.
Sir, this act talks about levels of assessment. Are you listening, sir? It's not, I never said for this hand. This one is not like hand of God that all the 5 entities that make Godhead is in the Godhead. Or the 5 parts of, I hope you're listening, sir. The 5 parts of us, our emotion, our intellect, our human spirit, our human body, and our free will action makes all of us. It's not that. This is talking about levels. Okay? That's why I said real marriage starts with that desire. And marriage is capped, sealed with the responsibility. And I still said that some minutes ago. That's why I've said many brothers, many guys don't know their real wife. You know why? Because they've never slept. So to them it's not right. And because that one they have a child for them. Which is the same thing. I told the sisters. Because you have a child, even if you give back to what is the record? One single woman to him, at least 70 something. Even if you add 70 something kids for a man, he doesn't still mean you are his wife. If he doesn't desire you, doesn't court you, and is not responsible over you. And like I said, no man can have this. But you cannot be responsible over Kate at the same time be responsible over catering. No man has that DNA. That's why all these things called polygamy, it just exists in the realm of faith. It doesn't exist in the realm of truth. In the real sense of it, there can never be polygamy. What can be, and that one self is not marriage. What you can have, more than one man can believe in a woman. Nothing is wrong there. The woman has not committed any crime. You understand? More than one man can court a woman. More than one man can be responsible over a woman. The only thing, which is why I changed that of the little finger for a queen. Okay? It's only one man. I hope sisters, you are not seeing your power. It's only one man at a time. Do you get it? That you can lift up his hands. It's only one man because of you will be known in the gates. And that's why I modified it to be, let it be a man who has made you his own queen. Do you get it? That you will do that for. Why should you do that for somebody else's husband? I'm not sure you're getting it now. Which is why women should just calm down. They got no problem. They just focus on being a queen. Let the man prove. Make sure he desires you, he caught you, and he's made you his response before you lift up his hands. But note that because he's sleeping with you doesn't mean he does that. Even if he makes you feel nice in bed, forget. That one is not part of desiring, cutting, or being responsible. Because he has the most fertile seed in existence. That once the thing drops, you will give back to Quentin says, is it that is 5 or 6? 6. 5. Okay. Yes. Professors have told us it's 5. That each delivery you are having your own hand factor. It doesn't mean you are his wife. I hope you are getting it, sisters. What makes you his queen is those things. It starts with believing in you. And how do a man believe in you? A man that wants you to say it up before committing doesn't believe in you. A man that believes tells it all to you from day one. All that you, and he's not interested in hearing anything. But he's interested in telling you. Then he upgrades that into cutting by making you to feel like a human being. And he's ready to be responsible. Such a man, when he does that, and no man can do that. No man can do that for 2 women at a time. So it's after he does that, then you now release your grace and let it be known in the gates. Because what is creating crisis in the world is those two. Women are lifting up those who have not made them their, and it's creating crisis. And once that is done, the men gets encouraged to think nothing spoil. But because you men too, you didn't create yourself. Even though that one that lifted your hand is not your queen, you will still have your queen somewhere else. Which is why you will see some women, they are not queen materials. They are not queen at all. But things are working for them. You know why things are working for them?
Why?
Because the man that made them their wife, even though they are not queen, that man is being lifted up by a queen material somewhere. That is it. That's why. There's nothing that happened that doesn't have why it's happening. I know you know what I'm talking about. You meet somewhere, you know it's not a queen matter, but things are working for them. It's the man that has made such non-queen their own wife. A woman who is a queen somewhere has lifted up such a man when she shouldn't have. So the beneficiary is the non-queen that one makes. That's why you see sometimes children that don't have queens as a mother, they are doing so well in school. Things are just working for them. The one that you are so God-fearing, you protect your child, struggle there and there. That's where it comes from. How can we get that, please?
Yes, sir.
Brothers, don't forget your own. That's why you notice, when a man married, every problem is from the wife. They are right, but they are also wrong. They are right because it's the real wife, the one they are responsible for, which they never married. In the eyes of men, you understand that is responsible for their problem. But they blame the one who is not their real wife in the sight of God. But in the sight of men is the one they are blaming that one for the problem. But life is about loss. In fact, when a man, are you with me? Either desires, even if at the law of desire, once you desire a queen mother, things will happen in your life instantly. That is that will happen instantly in your life. That things that will happen. So you cannot imagine you get into the level of responsibility, more things will happen. Can I imagine that queen now lifts? You'll definitely be known in the gates. Like the husband of the virtuous one. It will happen. But when these things don't happen, this is why it does not happen. I hope you got that, please.
Yes, sir.
Any question? Can we see the next chart on our screen? The same, both right and left. No new one, no. This is where Christmas comes in for those who want to do Christmas. If you remember some time ago when I gave us this chart, I gave us this chart to tell us that it is facts that matters. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Not timing, not method, okay? But the fact. And these are the 10 facts of life. But I arrange them not the way they occur. The way they occur is how you see 0. Everything starts from 0. It's our purpose that made us to arrive here. Are you with me? But you see, I arrange this in the order of greatness. Now, what is the greatest facts of life? I say I arrange them in greater, not the number is how they occur. But the way I arrange them from the lowest to the topmost is in greater. Greatest is the one on top. So what's the greatest fact? Purpose fact. Not purpose when. That's why when you discover your purpose, listen to me, that's the best day of your life. But you see, you might not know that day. Don't need to remember that day. Okay?
Yes.
Because your pastor remember it doesn't mean there's no benefit in the day. It's the fact that matters. Now for Christ, what is Christ's purpose? What is the to bring mankind, to save mankind, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So if at all we should be celebrating anything, that's what we should celebrate. And that's why when Christ was on earth, he celebrated birthday. But he didn't even go for birthday, but he went for a marriage ceremony. I like that one. It's as a guest, he turned water into wine. Not that he prayed for the couple. To show you that all those prayers done in church wedding doesn't do nothing. That has nothing to do with marriage, okay? Not a show of excess money that people don't know what to do with it. And if you look at it, the way purpose fact is the highest. What is the lowest fact of life? And to prove to you that even conception is higher than go and read your Bible. Do you know that the first three gospels, the gospel of Matthew, gospel of Luke, and gospel of Mark, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, will I tell you the truth? They started with the conception of Christ, not the birth. It was the conception that it started, not the birth. Yet we are celebrating birth now. You see what religion has done to marriage. What if at all we should celebrate anything is Christ's purpose? And there is no way you will celebrate Christ's purpose that you won't celebrate your own purpose. Because Christ came to redeem us, to save us. So if you are celebrating that, then you'll be celebrating your salvation, your redemption. And there's no way you celebrate your salvation or redemption that you won't celebrate. Why did you get saved? Is to come to the knowledge of the truth, to discover your own purpose, to be Christ. So do you now know my take now? In fact, today is more of a celebration for this ministry because the Abuja branch started 16 years ago on a day like today. But even that one said it's still part of arrival. The conception of the ministry is bigger than that. Do you see that? So when you look at it, it's just at best tautology. Most of any testimony people have, they are faith testimony. They are something they believed and it came to pass. But truth will not make it to last. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
In fact, some people ridiculously, religion will tell them they must eat some certain food today. Just like when it comes to resurrection time, that one is even worse. Instead of even celebrating resurrection, which is close to Christ's purpose, they would not call it Easter. Easter, that is the name of a God that just celebrated around the time of Passover. We didn't call Passover, we are calling the name of a God. And yet, you will say you are not a slave to Igbo people. Do you know that these Igbo people, if you call it Amadiowa Day, wouldn't they say you are an idol worshiper? Somebody talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how many Nigerians have been ostracized, have been abused, have been treated like trash because they are celebrating Ogun, Amadiowa, and all their own God? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But they gave you their own God at time of resurrection and say, call it Easter. And you believe. In fact, let me tell you this for your information. J-E-S-U-S is not actually Christ's name that he was named when he was on earth. But the reason why those things don't matter is that when you pray, you are praying in the name given to Christ at resurrection, which is not J-E-S-U-S. That's why it doesn't matter. Jesus comes from a demon God worshipped around this time. Is that demon that was born 25th of December. The name of that demon is Zeus. Z-E-U-S. The name according to Jesus. But still, that doesn't matter. What matters? Purpose. Why did Christ come? That is what matters. That's what makes scriptures like John chapter 3 verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. But because of civility, the Bible says as much as lies with you, people are peace with all men. When people say Merry Christmas, I say I wish you the same. And whatever it is you are wishing me, back to sender. I think the people read it in 2 Timothy chapter 2. Christ said, if you are denying me, me too, I will deny you before my Father. So if you wish me well, me too, I wish you well. I'm not sure you are getting it.
Yes, sir.
Okay? But of my own, you will not see me. The best I can maybe, if I want to pull your life, say, where's my Christmas gift? That I can do. I'm allowed to do that. Can't you say, where is my weekend gift? Yes, sir. Every week.
Once a week.
See, man, that's just to show you the foolishness of religion. You know how many people, there are some people and they only go to church, that church meeting twice a week. Easter Sunday and Christmas Day.
Twice a year.
Twice a year. And they think they have served God. But to me, some people are better. You know why? That the ones that 3 days a week they go to church in the same foolishness and they feel they are better. See, if, like I told you, these 3 hours you have been there, if I was telling you a lie, you have wasted your time. It would have been better you are somewhere making money. You would have pleased God better. Are you with me?
Yes.
It's just because it's the truth I'm telling you, that's what makes it worthwhile. And practically, even if you read the scripture, Christ couldn't have been born in December. Remember, they said the shepherds were tending their sheep at night. Now in the Middle East, it's very cold. That's why you see me preaching. I shouldn't have been. There was no flight. There was no space. There was flight. There was no space for me. Because everybody was going there because it's very cold. So the Oyinbos, they prefer to go to the Middle East for holiday during this time because the weather is cold. If you have ever been to the Middle East during summer, you know what I'm talking about. It's very, the average nighttime temperature is about 47 degrees Celsius. That's how. Now it's very cold. How can in winter shepherds be tending flock at night? What then sheep will freeze to death? So it couldn't have been. That text it couldn't have been. 2, there was festival. There was a feast going on in Jerusalem. That was why there was no space in the hotel for Mary to put when she entered labor. And there's only 3 times in a year that the Jews celebrate holidays. March, April, when they celebrate Passover. May, June, when they celebrate Pentecost. And September, October, they celebrate Tabernacles. So definitely, if Christ will be born, it's one of those times. Not take that as number 3. Number 4, Christ was called the Passover Lamb, and he died during Passover. But if you read the law that God set up, the law concerning Passover feast, he said it's in that same month that the lamb will be selected. So what other better time Christ has been born other than the time of Sabbath? Because that is his purpose. And when you look at that, that is springtime. The weather is conducive. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's just a perfect, and it's not rainy season of autumn or harvest. So most likely, the time Christ was born as a baby is even March, April, not this December of their zeals. But you see, what matters is not even when. Just like what matters, see humanity. Do you know we all celebrate birthday?
Yes.
West. The way we want to say, let's start celebrating our purpose. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Let our purpose be what excites you. The way you see me get excited, whatever your purpose is, let it be what excites you. You understand?
Yes.
You say, what if people don't understand? Amen. There will always be somebody that will not understand. Even if you do what is wrong, people will still not. Why don't you do what is right? Stop looking for people to understand you. As long as he that sent you here understands you, that is what matters. Even me, your pastor, if I don't understand you, forget. As long as he that put you here understands, shikena. Next chart. This one we've had it before. I just brought it. I always like it for you to understand what faith is. Look at this. Can somebody see that? Some people are not seeing it here. Can we see the next chart I was showing? Please, if there are your questions, ask your questions, so please. And you now see what religion is based on. Religion is based on the individual's faith. Somebody will tell you, do you know that horoscope? Religion is wicked. Do you know religious people? They will say for people that believe in horoscope, they are going to hell. What is the difference? You believe in one wooden cross, that's your source of salvation. Horoscope believe on the day you arrive. Both are wrong. In the Ten Commandments, it said, thou shalt not worship any green image. Then you see they call it palm sunday. Everybody make palm off. Many of you sisters, you say, I'm not another watcher, but all your trinkets, your pendant they call it, all your pendant is cross.
The earrings.
Talk enough. Now, say even in the earring.
Why have you bought it? I've seen it before.
But yet, you blame the Muslim that they are worshipping moon and star. I mean, moon and star.
Yes, you're right.
And the day was what God created. Job, now man created that cross now. That's where Christ lies. Is that small cross Christ lies? Even grave, no. If it's scriptural, then go and carry coffin. And do you know if somebody carry coffin as men that they say that satanic? But he was not inside a coffin, he buried Christ. And you are now wondering why people do ritual and go to burial ground. You started it. You are the first person that went to burial ground and carry cross. And then you are now praying like this. What is the difference between those ones that knock their brain 5 times a day on the floor? There's no difference. Because faith is what you see. Look at this. Do you know if you want to see evil, you will see evil in this?
Yes.
Look at that chart. Don't you see evil? And you know if you want to see good, you will also see good here. This is what is called faith. Do you see that all those pastors, all those imams, all those herbalists, all these cultures, tradition is a factor of your faith to condition you to believe it. That's why women will believe they don't marry. They are not yet fulfilling their purpose. Lie. It's because that's what you are seeing. If with that same faith, you will see your purpose. You will see that it's you that is doing your man a favor, not him. With that same faith. It's a mindset. It's wrong condition. And listen to me, once you are an adult, you can't blame your parents again. You have yourself to blame. You can't blame your parents. And if you have made your mistake before now, you are hearing the truth now. Change. The scripture says now faith is. No matter how much you believe wrongly, start now and start believing the truth. The same faith you believe, I want to marry a rich man. Start using that faith that I'm going to be a rich queen. Do you know that you enjoy these sisters? Between being one of the 700 wives of Solomon and a queen of Sheba, which one do you prefer?
Queen of Sheba.
Let me tell you, sisters, you are created to be a queen of Sheba, not one of the 700 wives of Solomon. And do you know we didn't know whether Queen of Sheba married? Yes, Solomon with all the 1,000 women in his life stood up and went to go and meet a queen. Be a queen, people.
Yes, sir.
You know what that means? That for you, a woman is trying to be a queen that will be somebody's wife. See, being somebody's wife is your little finger. The real thumbs up, fulfill your purpose. Be a queen. And let me tell you, any man that wants to be honest will prefer to marry a queen than to marry a wife. You know what I've just said?
Yes, sir.
The queen is the daughter of a king.
See, every of our girl child, are you with me, sir? All our girl child are supposed to be princesses. Because God's plan is that their father will be a king and their mommy will be a queen. So our male children are supposed to be princes and our female children are supposed to be princesses. And let me tell you the way queen no send man. It is princes that protect princesses. You never see a princess driving herself when they are prince there. You never see. Even see what David went through. If not for Jonathan, it would not be easy to get Mika to marry. That is it. That's what makes a princess. All these slave queens, they are not princesses. That's why they call them slave queen. Once you're a queen that will be slave, you are no more a queen. You know what makes a queen? All you know how to do for dancing is to twerk. Let me tell you, when you twerk as a man, it's a man that gets excited, not you. And the only twerk that will work for you is a twerk that has to tie with your purpose. If that twerk is not taking you to heaven, in fact, any man that enjoys twerking of a woman, your prosperity has reduced. Because if twerk, one demon is flying into your soul. Continue. Allow women to twerk for you. Continue. At least I've said the truth now. So it's so bad in our society. Just go and look at children's party. In our own days, boys and girls will dance innocently. Now, 5-year-old girls twerking. Over what? Father, no wonder God felt bad creating. And let me tell you, the Oyinbo you wanted to, you will never see an Oyinbo girl twerking. It's always African girls twerking. Then the boys will be shouting Holy Ghost fire instead of reading their chemistry. Instead of doing their general and just bring it. Christ went to carpenter's shop, he didn't read the scriptures. That's why I say if it's any of us that is in Joseph and Mary, we will never give birth to Christ. But Christ will never fulfill his purpose. He will just be quoting scripture. For Christ to know that it's Moses that added all those things there, like divorce, shouldn't that tell you that Christ used his sound mind? Not dogmatic religious person. That's why Christ was a revolutionary. I didn't say you would. I said Christ is a revolutionarist. Not a religious figure. That's why the religious people did not agree with him. Why? Because once something doesn't make sense, Christ will not believe it. And guess what, sisters?
Yes,
do you know why Christ turned out like that? Because of Mary. Mary was a sound-minded woman. That means that anytime Christ wants to pray, we can pray. Get up, go and do your work. Have you done the assignment in school? You see some parents, you believe in family altar more than your children doing their own work. Bible says, train up a child, not the way they are going now, in the way they will go, so that when they grow up, they will not depart. Let's raise our daughters as princesses to become queens. To realize that queen. Let me tell you something about queen people. I said it on Sunday. Let me say it again. Go and check. Queens is the only person that leaves the palace before the king. Every other person, the king must stand up and leave before they leave, but not the queen. Number 2, the queen can enter the palace without invitation, and the king will excuse all the chiefs to leave. But they never want the king to enter the chamber of the queen without invitation. That's how you are supposed to be, sisters. Are you with me? Even if the man in your life was a king before, the moment is no longer taking you as responsibility, stop lifting it up. That's what. Look at Queen of Sheba. She didn't feel intimidated that this is a wealthy king, this is a wise king. I'm not sure you're getting it. Even though she's the one that came to come and sort him out, Solomon left his seat. Go and welcome her. Are you with me? Even if you know more than your man in your life, you have more common sense. It doesn't mean lose your dignity. You must still leave his throne and come after you. That's why I said Sarah was a queen. You know, if it's that day and age, they will not sleep with Sarah again. You know what? They will say he's definitely slept with the king. That's why that one rewarded her with all the kings. And he will count the gifts one by one. He will say one gift is per one session. Okay. No, it's true. But you know why I cannot even think like that? Because Sarah never cheapened herself for one day. So the next update, which is also an example of faith, which illustrates that faith is what you see. These are the four scenarios we find ourselves in life on the left. You will see that in life. You see situation whereby you are okay, your partner is okay. Those are the thumbs up. Do you see it? You are okay, your situation is okay. You have situations whereby you are okay, the other person is not okay. Or you are okay, your situation is not okay. You also have situations that you are not okay, the other person is okay, or your situation is okay. And you have situations where both you and the other person, or both you and your situation are not okay. For people of God, this is not evidence of the truth. This is evidence of faith. You understand the importance of this chart? Don't say because you and your situation are okay. You are okay, your situation is not okay. You are not okay, your situation is okay. Or both you and your situation is okay. Shows that God is in action. Allow you. This is not proof that God is in charge. Okay? Okay. Oh.
Yes, sir.
I hope you got this illustration.
Yes.
It's just illustrating that faith is what you see.
Sure.
This is another illustration of faith, which shows that faith is actually what we all see in a situation. Remember this? And we see that next illustration of faith.
Yes.
That's why when you hit your head on the ground 5 times and you feel spiritual afterward, it's faith. It has nothing to do with God. Do you understand? When you come for first service, second service, third service on a Sunday, you go to a building before you serve God and you feel okay that God moved. God didn't move. It's your faith that moved. Look at this. You know, it's the same figure. But depending on how you turn it, you will see different things. Can you see that? Yes. Look at that orange. Is number 3, isn't it? Mm-hmm. When it is purple, it's W. Yeah. When it is blue, it is E, letter E. And when it is green, it is M, but it's the same figure. That means sometimes when you are shouting, devil is after me, it's actually God that is after you, trying to call you to order. But your faith is in devil. When you see that good thing, see, people of God, there are people you must not shake. Not as if they will do you harm, but when you shake them and connect with them, to affect you. But because of your faith in them, you say, this is the answer to prayer. See, sometimes, don't ever think it's something bad, the devil will always afflict you. To make you not to fulfill your purpose, the devil can answer a need that you're asking for. Because the devil knows that once you see that need, you forget your purpose. That's why, brothers, be careful. That's why I've said, if you remember, for a king, thumb is fulfillment of purpose. For a queen too, it's also anything that comes in conflict with your purpose. God is not in that. No matter how good or profitable it is. Capish? Somebody is saying, so that means that Pastor, where you are saying, where you went to go and preach many years ago, you are not allowed to. Microphone was put up. God is not there. Yes. But the Bible says, "Thou shalt not mock the ox that tread the corn." You understand? That's why even me as a minister, it's not every invitation that is divine. Where they will not receive my testimony, God will not send. God doesn't tempt with evil. Then if you came across me and you didn't follow this truth, and you didn't, and in turn you are not following me as your pastor, guess what? God didn't lead you across me. He Satan, so that you can checkmate me. Because once you don't believe in me, you hate me. You can't stay in the neutral. You have issues with me. But not because of faith. We don't know that this is a faith thing. We think it's truth or God thing. Are you with me? Do you know that? Should I tell you this? If you are believing God for M, hello, it's M you are believing God for. And all you have seen ahead of you is W. You won't know it's the same name God has answered. Would you still be disturbing God? Say, God, what have I done? I've been serving you faithfully since the day I was born. That was David's life. You didn't know when you were born. How can you be serving God? See, there's some testimonies when people are saying, no, they are lying. How can I say, since I arrived this world, I've been praising you, my father. How can you? Did you even know who your mama or papa is? Your eyes are still closed, crying, wing. So how can you be serving God since the day you arrived? Sometimes God has already answered, but because your faith is seeing something else. Do you know that M, all you need to do, change direction, like 180 degrees, you will see that God has already given you the M. Are you understanding this?
Yes, sir.
That's why most of our challenge, in fact, all our challenge is a faith thing. All our victory too is faith. That's why the scripture says, this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. Especially for we saved people. God told us, He said He has given unto all things that pertain to life and all. People of God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
People of God.
Yes, sir.
You already have it in you to make it.
Amen.
What is holding you down is your capacity to believe. What is holding you down is exactly what do you believe about yourself and about that situation. But if you can start believing today that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, His strength will come. Inspiration will come. God will send people that will tell you the truth across you. God will cause connection that will take you from point A to point B. But the start, God cannot work against your faith. Especially you sisters. Start believing in yourself. The God that made your husband also made you. The God that made men also made you. If men can prosper, you too can prosper. In fact, let me tell you, an average woman has more faith than a man. You know why? Because it takes more faith to believe somebody you have not seen will prosper. And that's how an average man believes. They have not seen a man they will marry. They say they will prophesy years ahead. That's a great faith. Imagine you start using that faith to yourself. How prosperity will be your lot. I want to be pastoring more of the Doraki units of this world. I want to be pastoring more of Queen Aminas of this world. I want to be pastoring more of the Okonjo Iwealas of this world. I want to be pastoring great women like Mrs. Ransom Kutis of this world. Women that no send men. Women that when they stand, 100 men cannot stand there. That is how each of you sisters you are created to be. It's a faith thing. Nobody is doing you. It's just your capacity to believe. Okay, sisters?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sir.
Now, this one now talks about righteousness. What is actually right? Something just occurred to me. Does that mean that in the throne room of God in heaven, there's always a child's cry? You know, the scripture says that the angels of children, they behold the face of God. And Christ is suffered only two children. don't whether you are another, you better live by your faith. If you are thinking one angel is carrying your prayers to Baba, God is handling with children's crying. I hope you added what I said everybody.
Yes, sir.
Now, if we look at the chart on the right, it's a chart of righteousness. This is what is going on in life. But you see, I saw there was a mistake on the chart on the right. That second equation is supposed to be plus, not minus. So that's why I changed it to that. Let me tell you what this means. The only two things that exist in life and in each of us' life as an individual, are you with me? Yes, is you saying yes to the right thing or you saying no to the right thing. That green is you saying right, okay, to the right thing. The red is when you say no to the right thing. But you know the other side. The moment you have said the right, yes, right, to the right thing, you will automatically say no to the wrong thing. And once you turn down the right, God has not created a million of you to now not say yes to the wrong thing. You will embrace the wrong. That's why the other two down, it doesn't exist. We think it exists, it doesn't exist. You cannot say no to the right thing in your life and you still say no to the wrong. The lie. The moment you have said no to the wrong thing, you will automatically embrace the wrong. And the moment you say yes to the right, you cannot still say yes to the wrong again. That's why that sign, that backward E, means doesn't exist. What exists is the first two. Do we understand that, please? That will be the concluding shot. So that if there's any question, let's go and enjoy the Christmas turkey or chicken. Or the okra soup, whichever one.
For those that have
This right, you want the sign that
the question is to further explain this last chart. What that green and the thumbs up sign means, it means you say yes to the right thing. Okay? Yeah. Thumbs down means you are saying no.
yes.
The two things that exist in life, once you say yes to the right thing, you will automatically say no to the wrong. That's why it's plus. That's why it was an error for me to put minus here. Minus denotes that see you can have either of the two. No, it's plus. There's no minus in it. That was the error. And once you have said no to the right thing in your life, you cannot receive that devil. You will embrace the wrong coming into your life. That's the reason why once you check out of our body, if you miss heaven, you can't miss hell. There's no transition. Just like you've had me minimum of 3 times. If you don't follow me as your pastor based on the truth, are you with me? You cannot stop yourself from following a liar. You embrace a liar. You can't stop it. Pray against it. It will happen. Because the force that made you to embrace the liar is the force you created by saying no to the right. Brothers, I hope you are listening to me. You come across a queen. You don't make your queen your own. Are you with me? Even if the queen has had children for you, still didn't make her your own. The queen you are having second with the queen, you didn't make her your own. Guess what? You can't stop yourself from making a Jezebel your own, from making a transactional woman your own, from making a slave your own. You can't stop it because the force you created and made that possible is the force of you saying no to a queen material. Are you getting it, people of God? That's why let me tell you this. There are people that can never fail in life. And the other side is also true. There are people that will never succeed in life unless they change. what they have embraced. If you have embraced your purpose, you can never fail in life. The worst that the devil can bring your way is affliction and persecution. But failure, forget. But once you come across your purpose and you say no, forget success. The best you have is mercy from somebody you are linked to who is faithful. But that goodness before you forget. That's what this means. But the other two means you can't say no to the two sides or say yes to both sides. You can't. It's not possible. That's why I say that sister need to know there is nothing like polygamy. Your man cannot marry you another woman. It's either you or the other woman or none of the two of you. In fact, most of them, let me tell you the truth. Sisters,
Yes, sir.
real queen don't fight the other woman. Queen carry their dignity. Queens don't fight. But most time when you see women fight on both of them are not even his wife. And men like that kind of show. And guess what? The two of you will be the topic of the show with the real wife. That's when he will be calling you all the stupid words he will be telling the real wife. I see them. I'm not sure you're getting it. Seriously, that's meant for you. Brothers, it's not because we are men we have that trait. Every male entity have that trait. Is that not what flock does? Do you know that when somebody is not your pastor, you will abuse that pastor? Won't you? You make fun of him because it's not your pastor. It's a male entity thing. That is how our mind too criticizes information before it enters our emotion. Every male entity has that thing in them. That's why you see male children. Even children, as pure as they are, sit down, coming. As you are going, that magnet is following you. Not you, it's not following you, it's following his own where he's going. But tell the female child, I'm coming. It's as if you have put glue there. She won't, or boy. If a boy stays where you say he should stay, he's not feeling well. Have you not noticed that when you go on holiday, many children don't like to go to where you have museum? What is museum? Go to where they will play game, they will sweat. You will think they are possessed with the spirit of that thing. It's a male thing. Our sisters, we are hearing.
Yes, sir.
So it's a male thing, and you can't change a man. That's how God designed a man to be. See, if you die because of a man, before they bury you, he has another wife. That's meant for you. No man can be celebrated. It's you that have the power to do without a man. Are you with me? Yes. No man can do without you. All this, I will die if you die. I love you with all of my life. Tell him, stop. Don't love me. Just love me. It's true. In fact, let me tell you, a mark of responsibility. When men are responsible, they talk less and do more. You just be good. So this is what this chart means. It's reality in life. Those other two doesn't exist at all.
There's one that okay. So it's based on the 10 forces of life that we have. Now, I want to just know, to an ignorant man or an ignorant person and someone that has received knowledge, what kind of forces did they manifest? Is it the same?
Someone that's ignorant.
Yes, someone that has full knowledge of a particular thing. What kind of force did they manifest? Or that's what.
The question King Lenus is asking that we paraphrase. When I paraphrase the question, if that's not what you're asking, please correct me. Is what's the difference between when you are ignorant of these laws and when you are outrightly reject them?
No, you have full knowledge of it. And you don't even have the knowledge of it.
And that's ignorance now. Ignorant you don't have.
Yes.
Rejection you have, but you still didn't do that.
No.
Okay.
This one that you have the knowledge and you are doing it.
Okay.
It's not.
The other one is ignorance.
Yeah.
Which?
Wait, which
Okay,
force?
which force shows knowledge?
Knowledge. Which one shows
which one
ignorance?
shows ignorance? Okay.
Now we can add which one show actual intention.
All right. The question is coming from the 15th church in our life virtues, which I'm showing on our screen. These are the 10 forces that govern every adult human being. Male, female, Christian, non-Christian, saved, unsaved, sinner or saint. Not sure if you can see it under divine structure in life.
It can't be this. Structure.
This.
This is divine structure.
Five C, divine structure.
What is 5B? This is 5.
5C. Can we see the structure on our screen, please?
5C.
So the question is, which force shows ignorance and which
5C.
force shows knowledge? And which force is responsible for when you reject knowledge? Now, if we look at the way these forces operate, everything starts with our body. Because unlike God, God starts with the spirit part of him. We start from the body. Because we are created to be Lord over the natural realm, and our body is the access to this. And that's why 1 Corinthians 6:20 says we should glorify God in our body first before our spirit. That's why even for men, it says if you cannot take care of your body, you cannot take care of a whole human being, not to talk of a woman. So we start from our body. So anything that has not entered our mind, okay, and if you look at it, is the forces of cravings, to have cravings for something. That's why a lot of people have eaten poison. A lot of people are sick in their body today because they don't know what they are eating. So but that's the only one that your mind is not involved at all. That's, you see it, the low green, the low right, downmost on our right. Desires, in bracket, cravings on the other side. So that's the one that shows that you can get to that, but you are ignorant. You see why? It's possible you are in a marriage, you don't even know what marriage is. Because the knowledge of the priest has never entered your brain, it has never clicked. You don't know anything about it. That is why many of us will bought equipment which got damaged because we refuse to read the manual. In fact, since Adam fell, people don't read manual. There was a video online, you can go and check. People don't read sign. It was put on a lake. There are crocodiles. And you will see, especially boys, diving into certain lake and saying crocodile danger. You know, you will see people do not cross. That's when they will cross. So it shows that they are just walking by cravings, by instinct. Nothing like perception, not like view or opinion. But they are not using the brain. So it is anything that we don't use our mind. That is when we're just doing the thing by instinct. And at that moment, we're not different than animals. Animals are ruled by instinct. We're supposed to be human. And that's why whatever it is you are doing, people of God, please think about it first. Okay, people? You see another reason why religion is not of God. Because in every religion, you are not allowed to think. But you are allowed to pray. And if you look at force of prayer, do you see your force of prayer too doesn't use mind? That's why you are supposed to think before you pray. But you see, every religion, you pray. Prayer is emphasized, but thinking is suspended. But the question that we hear, why, sisters, what did I do for you? Do you know what I thought since I've been preaching this news, that in that hand of different kinds of women, that where is a religious woman? Let me tell you the answer, even though you don't ask me. A religious woman is a slave woman, the worst of women. Because once you are religious, especially as a woman, you don't think. Everything is amen. Somebody will just come, a rapist will come and say, "Thus saith the Lord," you will believe. Somebody is not cutting, he say, "God told me that his wife," you to say amen. I've been waiting for you. And that's why you see churches are filled with women, religious are filled with women, and most of the pastors, imam, are not, they are men. Do you know why? Because they will take advantage of the subject easily. No resistance. Don't say the Lord. You see, sisters will say, "Amen." And that's why most members of the choir too are women. You know why? Because they don't think about that song. Once they see God, Christ in that song, they just start singing it. This is another one that doesn't make sense to God. Even though we think it makes sense to us. Jesus, I love you. Jesus, I love you. Jesus, I love you because you died for, what's the meaning of that? He fulfilled his purpose. If you like, don't love him. How can you love somebody? How can you love somebody for fulfilling their purpose? You are not their God. It's God that loves us because we fulfilled our purpose. Are you with me?
Yes,
sir. It's like that. Maybe now, King, you are handmaking my ministry. I will not say, "I love you because I'm." Like, don't lift up my hand. You will lift up another person's hand now. Why should I love you for that? It's ridiculous. Most of these songs will insult God. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, I have the victory. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, Satan, you have to flee. When I stand, don't fulfill your purpose.
Oh, Jesus.
I know why you are looking at me. Because you sing it here before I start preaching. It's because my purpose is to tell you the truth, not to take out all those songs you sing most of the time. That's why you see sometimes when I sit, I will just be looking like this. I'm waiting for you to ramble all those unscriptural songs. So when you are teaching, I will start preaching. But you see, if we just ask ourselves, does this thing make sense? We say most of what we sing as song doesn't make sense. If that is how devil flee, how come the devil has not flee from all the songs we are singing? All the carol that was sung yesterday, how come the devil has not flee? Yet they said President Buhari is an Islam. This is the first time Christmas season, no fuel is everywhere. Upon the prayer we have been praying since. We are binding and loosening. 2020 is coming. They are already collecting 2020 tithe. Somebody one thief from Pupi, he said 2020 means that tithe should be 20%. He said God wants to do 20 fold. That's why the year is 2020. As some people will say amen. Okay. It is man that named it 2020, not God. That's why you see people, they name their son Sonny, and you will see the guy shining like doing like Sonny. Okay, that you come a picking tango. So which one is thank Satan? Please, let's be thinking, please. So I hope this answers it. So that's how to read it. So anything that has to do with craving, that's what you are ignoring. Okay. But you see, prayer, so you don't use your mind when you pray. But it's what is in your heart that is coming out when you are praying. That's why before you pray, the Bible says, whatever you desire, start with desire. Believe that you would have thought about it. What do I believe? So that it won't be the wrong thing you are now praying about. But you see, what religion does is to circumvent the mind. You understand? So all those forces you see are forces of your view about a matter, opinion, what you treasure, your feelings about that matter, what you are rooted in. You push all those ones aside. You get it? You just go from craving to prayer. And that's why religious people don't prosper. But people don't go to church or mosque. Guess what? Those ones are thinking. They are already. Do you know one of the richest Igbo man in Yoruba land in Nigeria? You know how he makes his money? He makes his money on Sunday morning. I know what he discovered. He discovered that there is liquidity in Yoruba land, and most people need things on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Go to the entirety of Yoruba land. Many people don't know this is an Igbo man. He's a chief in Ibadan land. He can be the king of that time any moment from now. He has chain of business, and he's known. His pharmacy, his stores, his bank, supermarket, his mall, they are all local on Sundays. One time, that's not God in action. But some people will see him as Satan because he's opening church on Sunday, day of the sun. When Christ says every day is made for man. See, in this facility, there is one woman. She's a Muslim. This woman is Mama's colleague. If I tell this one, leave yours, you will leave. You know how she, but that years ago, one of their colleagues had a mental breakdown. On a Sunday morning, I'm supposed to be in church. I was the one that carried this woman in the car, accompanied by Mama and this Muslim woman. As we were going from hospital to hospital to see the hospital that we admit this woman, my daughter turned to me and said, are you not supposed to be in church? I knew about her. I said, from the last camp, you are supposed to be a member of NASFAT. And I know that NASFAT needs on Sunday so that their members will not go to church. I said, so what are you doing? Are you not supposed to be in the mosque? It shocked that why would the Reverend talk like this? Let me tell you, that is what is good. That is what is called spirituality. But should I tell you the truth? You'll be so surprised when you begin to understand this principle. You will bring many Muslims to the kingdom. You know what? If during their salah you contributed, you sow money to them, or you help them to buy ram, you'll be so shocked how they will respect you. So it's religion that brought down the mind. So I hope that, and that's a very good question. Okay. Any other question before we call it a day? A great day. A day that you know that it's not birthday that matters. In fact, Christ didn't even celebrate his birthday. It's fulfilling our purpose that matters. If you have not discovered your purpose, don't be discouraged, okay?
Yes, sir.
Whatever you know as passion, keep on following that one. God will use your faith in your passion to push your purpose.
Amen.
That's how God does. And that's what all of us that have been privileged to discover our purpose is because we are faithful in our passion. Because God rewards zeal, God rewards sweat, God rewards hard work. God rewards you taking life very serious. Any other question, please? This technical department, get this thing to work before next service, please. These speakers.
Okay.
All right. Since there's no question, I just be greeting one another. It's a good. Okay, that's it. All right. Go ahead, man.
I just want to have clarity on what is meant by discipleship. I'm basing my question or explanation on John 6. When Christ preached, and many of his disciples realized that they left him and never came back. Jesus now turned to the 12 and said, will you too go? So I want to know what is meant by being a disciple of Christ.
All right. First of all, the word disciple literally means duplicate. That's what disciple means duplicate. And as saved people, God wants us to be disciple of Christ, not disciple of the pastor. In fact, Matthew chapter 28 was very clear. Verse 19 said, go ye into all the world, make disciples of all nations by teaching them the truth I've taught you. Now, when do you become a disciple of Christ as a saved person? It's when you discover, why am I here? That's when you become a duplicate of Christ. Why is that so? Hebrews chapter 1 verse 3 says Christ is the express image of God. And remember, when we are created, how are we created? In God's image. So that means that each and every one as individuals, we are supposed to be Christ. So the Christ in you is that specific reason why you are here. Why are you here? Why are you a Yoruba man? Why are you a man? Why are you an engineer? Why are you in the military? You get it now. Why are you a member of this family? Because those are divine things. It's not a mistake. So that is what to be disciple of Christ. Which is why I always say that you can be more of a disciple of Christ in your office, in your school, than in church service. In fact, if any service is not about preaching the truth, all of us are wasting time. But if it's about preaching the truth, there's only one disciple of Christ, and that is me preaching. Hearing is not what makes you disciple of Christ. It helps you to become, but that's not what makes you. When you discover your purpose and you start fulfilling, that's when you become disciple of Christ. But the word disciple means duplicate or a replica. And Christ in us is actually our purpose. That's why it's people that called us Christian. God didn't call us. God calls us Christ. God calls us King and Queen. That's what God calls us. God called us light of this world, salt of the earth. In fact, this Christmas song can even be helping. Let's change all of it and let's pass on it. Joy to the world. Tell them, joy to the world, you are here. That's true. Joy to the world, you're a member of that family. Joy to the world, you are a staff in that office. Are you with me? Joy to the world, you are in that neighborhood. Joy to the world, you are wife to your husband, you are husband to your wife. Joy to the world, you are parents to your children, you are children to your parents. Are you getting it now? So that is the Christ in us. Because that is why we're here. And let me tell you, people of God, anytime you fulfill your purpose, if I'm praying this prayer, and I don't know the right prayer, but just praying in my own sense. I pray for every one of us hearing my voice, that anytime you are fulfilling your purpose, no matter how small, no matter how mega, no matter how crazy, no matter how acceptable, that you see a glimpse of how everyone reacts whenever you fulfill your purpose. I don't know whether it's the right, like I said. I'm just praying in my head. But I know that if you ever see that, you will never joke with your purpose. In fact, you will now realize that all other things don't matter again. But once you are fulfilling your purpose, guess what? Heaven takes care of every other thing in your life. Heaven takes care of everything in your life. And I've seen that work for me. Many times, in fact, let me tell you this. There are times I have serious challenges. And I know it's not in my grace to meet that challenge. It's in a higher grace, the grace of our meeting. And sometimes my flesh is tempted to go and meet people that God has used with that grace. But I've just remember what God said, that you do your bit. And I'm just going to put this one. And you know, each of the time I do that, God always sends people. Without telling people what, and God will just and do exactly what. And in fact, some weeks ago, I got so scared. Not scared in the negative, but scared in the positive, the awesomeness of God. Sometimes I will have zero naira in my pocket in my account. And sometimes before the day runs out, I'm counting millions. I'm not joking. Mama is there, she'll tell you the truth. I'm not talking days after, within 24 hours. But I notice that each time God does that, anytime I do my own bit, which is just to say the truth against all odds. So that's what it means, man, to be a disciple of Christ, man. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Right, so let's enjoy our Chris weight. Enjoy it any way you want to enjoy it. The most important thing is about purpose. Okay? At least we have a day to rest, especially our mothers.